House. Honorable
Faraja
members,
Africa Foundation and her
now we can,
partners
get ready.
organized the East African
We are
Youth
going to have
Parliament in
our speaker
2018 following the
and,
establishment of the
start
East
serious
African
business.
Community, which
When
comprises
I
of
speak,
7
the
member
sergeant at arms
states,
reaches
that
and,
is,
tell you to
Burundi,
stand up, you
Rwanda,
just stand up
Kenya,
until the speaker
South
sits and
Sudan,
allows you to sit,
Tanzania,
right?
Uganda, and the
Yeah, so
recently
be
added
ready.
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Well, my name is Abdullahi Lugome. I'm first speaker of East African Youth Legislative Assembly. When you talk about the East African Youth Parliaments, and since I was the first speaker, I traveled all the 6 countries by bus. I met, a lot of young people. I got a big connection with them. So that's really inspired me that what am I going to do after finishing being a speaker? So being a partner was
I, Mondera Zahara Mariam, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will at times well and truly serve the Republic of Uganda in the office of the Speaker of the Busoga Sub-Region Youth Parliament, and that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established, so help me God.
Honorable members of Parliament, now that the Speaker is in the House, I would like to start with item number 1 on the order paper. We are going to start by item number 1 on the order paper for the 3rd sitting of the Busoga Regional Youth Parliament, which is held on the Thursday, 18th July, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, the anthems. We shall start with the national anthem of Uganda. Please let us stand up for the national anthem. O Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free for liberty, together we always stand. Ladies and gentlemen, the East African anthem. Afrika Mashariki tuwezeshe tumishe ya wanu tendo letu tume sote tuhimide, tuwajibike, tuimarike, tunaoja wetu likuzoje dunia yetu. The Busoga anthem. Ivanka vino yenga twesimye ino, ore neifo yomusoga chibumba weyatuwa, ore chirabe chechiko twerindenga, Busoga tebenkerenga ensenesi. Namubusoga mwide twisanyenga, tukulembere ise bantu nga n'omutwe gwaife, n'obuyo mwahufu tugonzaganyenga, enina ya Uganda etebenkere. Honorable members of parliament, I think now we can take our seats. Item number 2 on the order paper of the third sitting of the Busoga Regional Youth Parliament held on Thursday, 18th July 2024, the prayer. We get anyone to lead us the prayer. Prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, let us stand up for the prayer. I am going to recite the prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessings descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen. Let us take our seats. Honorable members of parliament, our item number 3 on the order paper shall have opening remarks from the chief guest, who is in the house.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Davina Joanita Kako. I work with the German Agency for International Cooperation, in short GIZ, who are supporting the 7 subnational youth parliaments organized by Faraja. I want to commend Faraja's efforts to uplift the voices of young people. I happen to be a born of Busoga myself, so Kodeo. Mudiyo bana? Yes, so I happen to be born from this end. And it is indeed my pleasure to join you today. At the core of this event, it's about empowering the youth, providing you with a platform to voice your ideas, engage in critical debate, and shape the future of your communities. It is an opportunity to channel your energy into tangible policy proposals and reforms. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you here today to engage in robust, thoughtful discussions, challenge each other's perspectives, seek common ground, and above all, remain committed to democracy and good governance. Please remember that the decisions you make here today will have a real impact on your communities. So I urge you to make the most of this opportunity, show the world what the youth of Eastern Uganda can accomplish when given a seat at the table. I want to tell you that so many people are watching you today. In Europe, in Africa, all over the world, they are all, set to hear what you're going to deliberate about. And so thank you very much. I look forward to hearing your deliberations and your resolutions. Thank you.
Honorable members of Parliament, Honorable members of Parliament, in our midst, we have a minister and a representative from our kingdom, and she's none other than Honorable Namtamba, the Minister for Tourism in Busoga Kingdom. I'd like to invite her to talk to the House.
Yes, good afternoon. This is the Parliament, right? I'm so sorry, they had not given me the brief of the protocol. So allow me, Right Honorable Speaker, Madam, allow me adopt the mentioned protocol. For the purposes of this House, I'm Counsel Helen Namtamba. I'm a lawyer by professional. I'm so happy that I'm seeing here some of my hobbies and, the clerk. You're the clerk to Parliament? Is my old boy. And then Council Enoch is also my hobby at LDC. So we are advocates, not just lawyers. And then right here is also one of our team. That time when we were at LDC, he was doing the same transactions. So I also have another one there. It's right over there. It was also in my cohort. I'm so delighted to be part of this sitting. I'm the Minister for Tourism and Heritage in Busoga Kingdom under the kingship of His Majesty William Wilberforce Gabulana Diop IV, the most educated on the planet, soon attaining his doctorate from the UK. I'm so delighted to see some faces from the region. I want to take this opportunity to thank the organizers and also to thank the sponsors. I want to thank our youths from the region. We have here the leaders of the youths from the kingdom, and then from our party, NRM, and then from other forums. You're most welcome. I welcome you to the land of the blessings. I welcome you to the land of waters. I welcome you to Jinja City, the newly appointed or created city by His Excellency the President. I also work with the government, but for purposes of our meeting here, Jinja is a land of opportunities. This is where you'll find the most toward our tourism site. That is the source of the Nile. So I want to implore you that after this sitting, Right Honorable Speaker, Madam, you invited as the Minister for Tourism. I'll be delighted to be your official guide. I want to thank you for this opportunity given to me. Busoga, where you are, we have more than 10 districts. We are now 11. Each district has tourism sites. Tourism sites is one of the biggest generating income product in Uganda. And tourism is one of the biggest youth employment sector in Uganda. I think that you know. Tourism is about vibe. Tourism is about happiness. And your age group, that is where you fall most. I think with the statistics of the recent census results, it showed that 80%, more than 80%, it is the youths that form the population of Uganda. What does it communicate? That you're the movers, you're the shakers of the nation. So they gave me a task to talk about. Basically, in Uganda, you've seen His Excellency, the President. He has evolved most of the youths in most of the areas, most of the entities. But where is your force? You need to identify where is your talent. You need to identify where you're going to put more of your passion. As a youth growing up, because I think I'm a few steps out of the 35 docket, but when I was in your cohort some few years ago, I had to identify myself. If you can identify yourself, if you can define who you are, if you're Hussein, and then you say, who is Hussein? Other than people, people coming up and hyping you up. But then you define yourself, who do you want to be? And that is how you should carry yourself. I'm a social worker by the initial background when I did my first degree in 2004 Makerere University. I did social work and social administration. But then when I defined myself, when I knew who I want to be when I grow up, I decided to go and do law. So I went back and did law amidst. I was a mother, I was working, I was, married. So I had to choose who I wanted to be when I'm out of 35. So I chose. I went back, I did law. I went to LDC. I'm pursuing my LLM Masters in law now from the University of East London. And I'll be graduating next year early. So that is the identification that you need as the youth. Before you go fight, let me tell you the best opportunity for you to shine in the employment sector is when you have it all. You find youths now, when someone is like 28 years, you have 1 degree, you want to get a job of more than 4M per month. Then you've not defined yourself. So have you thought of who you want to be? Because me, when I did my degree, it was on government. So my parents had to choose. Can you go and do government so that your other siblings also get an opportunity to go to school? I had to do it because I wanted a qualification, right? But if you sit, Hussein, do you have a moving microphone? You're not more of a teacher. Who do you want to be? If you can tell us. Because when I ask a few of you that what did you want to be when you're growing up? A few of you will tell us, I wanted to be a pilot, I wanted to become a lawyer, I wanted to become a doctor. But now, if you wanted to become a doctor and then you did education, you did mathematics, and then whatever, biology, as a teacher, do you know you still have an opportunity of going back to fulfill that will define who Hussein has to be. Hussein, what did you do at Makerere?
Thank you so much. I majored in organization studies.
But who do you want to be?
As I was growing up as a younger kid, I used to admire successful people, most especially in business. And I personally identified in myself. I started my businesses in my vacation from 6. I'm dealing in fish at Nyanza Nairopash. I'm a supplier there. And I want to be a successful politician. I'm already a male youth council in Jinja City, Southern Division. I contested when I was in my vacation from 6. I've been in different political spaces, and I know being a successful politician is being in the parliament. And inshallah, 2026, I'm kindly requesting for your support as the male youth
Thank you. Now, let me tell you what is
member of parliament.
let me tell you what is remaining. Do you know what is missing? Can someone tell me what is missing for him to become a successful business person? Can someone tell me? Now, Hussein, sorry. Have you considered going back and do MBA, Masters in Business Administration? Because you're still in the space. If you want to enjoy the civic space, can you consider going back and you do Masters in Business Administration so that you're grounded enough? You know, politics is not a permanent employment, career. No. This is a service. You're going, and when you're an established, grounded businessman, and you've got your master's in the business administration, that means you're grounded in every corner. You're a good administrator, you're a good executive, you're good, you can run your businesses. And then you can attain money. Politics is money. So that is when you can put in money, go to parliament, serve 5 years, then they will tell you, please, you've served us enough, go back, let other people come and take up your space. So my son, one thing you should consider for you to be the complete that you want to be in business, consider going back to school. So what am I communicating to all of you? During this period you're in, the age bracket, if you've not yet identified yourself, you still have an opportunity to go back and you do that course that will identify you, that will define you. If you have not done masters, it's good you have Council Enoch. We are in touch. I sometimes get some scholarships from abroad for masters, so you can always get in touch with him. Last year we got over 40, and then we passed them on. So those who want to go and do masters, please, you can always reach to us. Sometimes we've got those opportunities from government, from embassy through government. You also have some good partners that can offer the same. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I humbly request you as the Speaker of the House, endeavor to add value on the youth. I was also tasked to contribute about the challenges, to share about the challenges of our Busoga youths. Most of my time, I have a sector for Miss Tourism in Busoga, and we've got so many girls that we work with. We have challenges. Whoever sees a girl is seeing an opportunity to enjoy, So even the girls, whenever they present themselves, we present ourselves with the extras, But how do you protect your extras? I think the girls, the extra that I'm talking about. So how do you value your extras? Because for us, we have the extras that if I present myself, if I fail to convince you verbally here, as I'm here, and I fail to convince you physically, as I present myself, I'm proud, I will say I have my extras, at least. And even the men will say, okay, me, I'm not bothered. You speak very well, you're articulate, but I want the other business. So most of the girls, I think in Uganda, these are the challenges they are facing, that the people who have opportunities, they want extras. So if Right Honorable Speaker, you can take on that challenge, and we find ways of protecting the girl child. Because at the end of the day, if you don't get the virus, you're getting the pregnancy that someone will not take care of. And then sometimes you've given in your extras because you want a favor, a job, and then you're not given the job. If you're given the job after expiry of enjoyment, then that will be the end of the what? The job, and then you suffer. So that is one big challenge amongst the girls. Then another thing, the girls don't get enough opportunities to add value on their education careers. So that is, Right Honorable Speaker, I would also implore this House that among the things that we should push for is to, the government should look into the 1.5 that is added on the girls. I humbly request, Right Honorable Speaker, that I wish the girls are given maybe 3.5. B, that will encourage most of the girls to get out of our extras. And we have that added value. Let me tell you, even as we are here, we have the 1.5 at the uni, right? I hope they have not added on. Those have been to uni. It's 1.5 if you're to go at the uni for any course. So if you've gotten 15 points, you're sure of 1.5. But still, we are few. Even in this House, the girls are few, right? So, Right Honorable Speaker, I also request that the employment competition, we should get specific job slots that are ready for girls only. And let the girls compete for these jobs without involvement of the what? Of the other gender, because the other gender is so powerful. So, Right Honorable Speaker, if those issues can be addressed by this able government, I think we can shine. And I'm really proud that the Speaker of the House is our gender. For us, we like taking up space. So I'm really proud of you. And then I think for the other gender, Right Honorable Speaker, the youths, one of the challenges they face here is employment. People in offices, they believe that they are so perfect that the young boys and girls cannot really perfect what they believe they're doing at their best. So the employment, we still have that challenge that we need, much as government sometimes advertises jobs and then they put some age bracket, but these are the junior career slots that they put out. Right Honorable Speaker, I would also request on behalf of the youths one challenge they face. You'll find a youth who is 28 years with a master's degree, but when a good job needs 15 years of experience. So they will say, we want someone to be, for example, maybe a commissioner in government. They need 15 years of experience. They need an MBA. They need a degree and MBA. But a 28-year youth who has an MBA and he has got an experience of like 3-5 years, because of the age, would not compete. I would request, Right Honorable Speaker, that let's allow the youths who have the able qualifications compete openly with the other people of 45 years plus. And then they should cut off that issue of the 15, maybe 15 years experience.
Honorable, excuse me. I hope that you summarize such
Okay.
that we continue with the House.
So another issue that I wanted to share about is the youths. Sometimes they're misled. I want to encourage the youths that if you know your space, you can use it with a lot of value. As I summarize, I want to welcome you to Jinja once again. We have Kaguru rock climbing. The king is in the youth docket. So he guided us to come up with a theme promoting tourism using digital and talent to create the youth employment in the region. So I welcome you on the 17th of August next month at Kagulu in Buyende to climb with Iseife Chabazinga. We shall be climbing our rock, which was the first settlement for the Basoga who came from Bunyoro. All those from Bunyoro, you are our judges here. So I want to welcome you once again. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Council Enoch, for this opportunity. Thank you, all the youths. Please enjoy your space. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Now, Honorable Members of Parliament, we are going to item number 6 of the order paper, and that will be the communication from our Speaker, who will commence the sitting. Thanks. Honorable Members, let us stand up and welcome the Speaker to the floor.
You may take up your seats. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'd like to start by thanking my dear honorables that have voted me into this position. I believe you've chosen the right person, and I'm assuming you've all trusted me. The 18 voters and the people in the house, thank you so much. Those that have attended but not vote me, it's also okay. But thank you so much. So we shall go through some rules of procedures that we'll be following in this house. And I beg that people adhere to whatever is going to be mentioned here. Whoever shall be presenting or opposing something to the motion shall first of all present solutions to that problem that is being addressed. And I also encourage the females to take up the stage. Let us not be shy. Let us take on the opportunity and address our issues. Also, we shall have those people that are usually fluent using their local dialect. We shall have someone translating to English such that the audience, people that are watching online, can really interact with us. I also beg members to switch off their phones such that you have uninterrupted conversations, such that the resolutions are heard and we have sensible resolutions. I also like to urge you that we are going to have no movements unless you communicate with a sergeant of arms. Unnecessary movements should be avoided kindly. Whoever wants to speak anything unrelated to the motion should go through the sergeant of arms. You kindly write a sheet to the sergeant of arms and they will gladly bring it to me. The movers of the motions shall mention their districts from wherever they are representing. This should be done without file for purposes of recognition, because this is a Busoga Youth Parliament and people from your district should really feel represented. We shall also have 15 minutes, strictly 15 minutes for each motion. And I beg that the people that are around don't use a lot of time. Let us strictly adhere. If the clerk tells you it's time up, kindly abide. Otherwise, you might be taken out of the house. Lastly, I would like to ask the House people to the different honorable colleagues, to be respectful as we are addressing each other. This is not a war. We all have different views, and I hope that we all abide. Let us respect each other. With this, I'm going to declare that we start the motions. We are going to have a mover, Honorable Namtamba, Gift Teresa, with a motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to tackle the root causes of the rising teenage pregnancies and high school dropouts in the region.
Yes, honorable members of parliament, let us appreciate our speaker for the communication she has passed. Honorable members of parliament, we are now going to move to item 7 of our order paper of the third sitting of the Busoga Regional Youth Parliament today, the Thursday of 18th July 2024. Now, item 7.1 is a motion that says that the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to tackle the root causes of rising teenage pregnancies and high school dropouts in the region. The mover of this motion is Honorable Namtamba Gift Teresa from Ruka District. Please come and take a seat.
The Speaker, honorable members of this august house, my name is Namtamba Gift Teresa, all the way from Luuka Chiyunga. I would like to move motion 7.1, which is the motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to tackle the root causes of rising teenage pregnancies and high school dropouts in the region. Honorable members, I rise today to move this motion because it is a pressing issue in all of the 11 districts of Busoga, not only because it affects us socio-economically, but also because we are leading at the national level. I would like to ask that the House seconds and moves this motion.
Before we do that, I would like to address this issue for the people online are complaining that some journalists are blocking, so they're not really able to interact with us, they're not viewing us very well. So I beg that we stand on the side such that the people online can have a clear view of us. And the official cameraman is the only person allowed to move and take pictures. Thank you. May I invite seconders of the motion?
Right Honorable Speaker, the House, good afternoon. My name is Tusuvira Simon Peter from Jinja City, and I am here to second a motion moved by Honorable Namtamba Gift Teresa, a motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to tackle the root causes of rising teenage pregnancies and high school dropouts in the region. Thank you.
Can you have a second?
Right Honorable Speaker, the House, good afternoon. My name is Abu Nidal Wegulo Mubale, representing the youth from Busia District. I'm here to second the motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to tackle the root causes of rising teenage pregnancies and high school dropouts in the region. Thank you.
Let me take this opportunity to invite them over to come and testify.
Thank you so much, Speaker. Honorable members of the third Busoga Youth Parliament, I would like to draw you to the current situation and statistics that put us at a risk and pushed me to move this motion. To start with, for example, Busoga region is at the top, at the hint. We are leading the whole nation in the number of teenage pregnancies. This stands at about 46,000 of the 350,000 that were recorded last year. This is not something to brag about. because 46,000 teenage girls dropping out of school because they have gotten pregnant before the age of 20 is not something that we can put out there as something that we've done as a region. We should be ashamed. Also, at the top of that, the number of youths in Busoga that are between the ages of 13 and 19 are about 800,000, combining all the districts all together. And of these, about 34% are at the risk of teenage pregnancies, according to the National Population Council of a survey that was conducted in 2021. And this should urge us to ask the government to tackle this alarming issue, because it affects us not only socioeconomically, but it puts us at the hinge, at the back of the rest of the country. We are not developing because about 80% of the children that sit PLE do not succeed to finish USCE, and that should be a problem, because it means they cannot go on to higher institutions of learning. And therefore, I urge members to urge you out and think about all these statistics that have been presented before you, because the nation itself is at the hilt, at the top of East Africa, because we are having a whole rate of 25% of teenagers getting pregnant, and about 27% of children dropping out of school before they have completed their studies.
Thank you for that justification.
Thank you so much.
As I open the floor, let us be mindful about time. The House is open to give in suggestions on the motion. You may raise your hand. Yes, please. Let us use few minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Speaker, I congratulate you upon your election. I am Kalyango Hilary. I'm from Buyende. Honorable Speaker, I stand up to support the motion because truth is teenage pregnancy is affecting very many children in Busoga, and very many of them are turning into young mothers, and these young mothers, most of them drop out of school. We have just had our Honorable Minister tell us that although these girls can get the 3 additional points at S6, if she gets pregnant in P7, she will never get that opportunity. If she gets pregnant in S5, she'll never get that opportunity. And I think that government has done very little to come and support these young girls, mainly even those who have given birth, to come back into school. So I stand up to support the motion that this Honorable Parliament adopts this motion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Yes, please. Everything that is being said here should be factual. Please don't fabricate evidence. I hope everyone gives clear statistics.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. By the names, I'm Job Mugoya Prince. I'm here on the motion 7.1 about the early pregnancy and school dropout. On my side, I urge the government, first, is to talk about the gap between the youths and the elder people, those who are taking over the schools, because we find that some of the kids who are at school, they can adopt anything told to them, but who is telling them? Can they do good communication with you? Two, we have a challenge in the community because I did education. I'm a secondary teacher by profession, holding a second-class upper degree in education from Chambogo. Another thing that I can talk of is that the gap
that is in the school management is a very big point. Reason being, you find that a school like a Jinja ACS, which is on the foundation of St. James, they get the chairman management from the church. And from church, they will just appoint someone because of the background, whereby that person is going to work with someone with a bachelor's degree in education. They have a difference. This one is an elite, another one is not an elite. So you find that it's a very big gap because both of these ones who are there now, they cannot communicate to these young people. So it's the government to come out and make a new system. Thank you so much.
I think we have several motions. So as Honorable Claire comes to deliberate, some other colleagues or honorables can deliberate on other motions.
Thank you very much. My name is Nambi Claire, representing the youths of Jinja City. I think before urging the government to tackle this matter, we should look at the causes that are leading to teenage pregnancy. And I'll put out one of the causes because I can't put them out of all of them because of time. One of them is lack of sanitary pads. I normally push for this program, but some other people take it to be so lightly. But according to the communities and then the schools that have gone to under Initiative for Girls Empowerment Uganda, most of the girls are dropping out of school. They're getting pregnant just because of lack of pads. The girls are engaging in transactional sex in exchange for pads. So I urge the government, as Madam Janet, Mama Museveni, one of the time promised that the pads should be given at a free cost. If the pads can't be given at a free cost, at least let them waive the tax on the pads so that even the girls in the lower communities where the girls who are coming from the poor families can be able to afford the pads. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we have Honorable Gift coming back to in defense? Sorry. Some other members will be deliberating on the next one.
Thank you so much, Speaker. Honorable members of the House, through the deliberations, we have come to understand that the biggest root cause of teenage pregnancies and school dropouts is poverty and sexual reproductive health rights in particular. So, as a House, we shall resolve to ask the government to improve access to quality education through lowering the price of education in Busoga region so that all the children and girls can access it. Also, to provide an education that provides for comprehensive sexual reproductive health rights engaged in there that are age appropriate according to classes. It depends on, say if you're in P1, then the kind of information you're given is appropriate for that age. And if you're 18 and sexually active, it should be we should be talking about contraceptives and all the other methods that you can use to prevent teenage pregnancy. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Can we have members to vote? Those that are agreeing with the motion should say aye. The rest should say aye. Should say nay, sorry. Can we do it again? And the nay? Okay, please. So the motion is going to be put into consideration. Thank you.
Honorable members of Parliament, we are going to item number 7.2 of our order paper. That is a motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to review the National Youth Strategy on Employment in Agriculture. Now this motion is going to be moved by Honorable Kalyango Hilary from Buyende District.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I am Kalyango Hilary from Buyende District. Buyende District is one of the most rural districts in Busoga, where most of the population relies on agriculture. Because agriculture is the backbone of this country, and we believe that everyone on earth cannot survive without food, and the farmers. Yet Uganda's population consists of mainly young people. I rise to move a motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging government to review the National Youth Strategy on Employment in Agriculture. Madam Speaker, this is the National Strategy for Youth Employment in Agriculture that I urge government to review. Since it was passed in 2017, and we are in 2014, most of it has not been implemented. I request the Honorable Parliament to second my motion.
Thank you, Honorable Kalyango. Can we have a seconder? Yes, please.
Thank you, Right Honorable. My name is Mwanda Ronald from Bugiri. I'm here to second the motion that the third parliament should urge the government to review the National Youth Strategy on Employment in Agriculture. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much. Can you have the seconder?
Right Honorable Speaker and the August House. My name is James Wivey, representing Jinja City, and I'm here to second a motion about urging the government to review the National Youth Strategy on Employment in Agriculture. Thank you.
Can I have Honorable Kalyango coming back to the floor?
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. In the financial year 2022-2023, the agricultural sector accounted for 24% of the GDP and 35% of the export earnings of Uganda.
Are you sure, Honorable?
Yeah, these are statistics released by WUBOS, Madam Speaker, and the clerk can cross-check.
And they may use it against you for giving us wrong statistics.
Madam Speaker, the clerk can cross-check.
Okay, please.
Yes. According to Uganda Coffee Development Authority, we recently confirmed that Uganda's coffee export earnings surpassed 1 billion with the 6.13 million bags. Honorable Speaker, this is more than 3 trillion to Uganda's economy. Madam Speaker, Uganda agriculture production has ability and potential. It has ability and potential to be Africa's food basket. Investors consider Uganda's agricultural potential to be among the best in Africa, with fertile soils and true rainy seasons, like the ones we observe here in Busoga, over much of the country. And according to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, Uganda's fertile agricultural land has the potential to feed over 200 million people. Madam Speaker, although 80% of Uganda's arable land, Uganda has 80% of its land that is arable, only 35% is being utilized for agriculture. Madam Speaker, commercial agriculture that our beloved president likes so much talk about when he says that tulimene chibalo tulekerawo okukolera ekida kyonka. Madam Speaker, this sector is challenged by limited use of fertilizer and quality seeds, lack of irrigation infrastructure, and poor post-harvesting practices. Madam Speaker, even the low agricultural credit and poor road infrastructure has limited the potential of the agriculture sector. This strategy, the national strategy for youth employment in agriculture, Madam Speaker, was aimed at strengthening the legal and institutional framework of the youth employment in agriculture, to ensure provision of youth-sensitive agriculture services, support youth entrepreneurship, and establish a national youth fund, support setting up of national information centers as innovation hubs. Madam Speaker, as you are well aware, that we have an innovation village in Jinja. However, it does not serve the young farmers, like the farmers in Buyende, where I come from. Madam Speaker, although this strategy has 5 thematic areas, one of which is strengthening and enabling environment for youth employment and support of youth-oriented agriculture extension, Madam Speaker, I want to inform you that young people have actually not benefited from this strategy. Madam Speaker,
I beg that you end here.
Madam Speaker, let me summarize.
In 1 minute.
In less than a minute, thank you. Madam Speaker, as we are aware that government is reviewing the National Development Plan 3, and it is in the earlier processes of formalizing the National Development Plan 4, we urge government to review this strategy. Madam Speaker, I'm sure that if we review this strategy, young people can benefit from agriculture. I beg to submit.
I've been told by my clerk that your 1 minute was up.
But thank you so much for summarizing. The floor is open for submissions.
Okay, Madam.
We are going to use 1 minute, and we shall have around like 6 to 7 speakers. Please don't waste time, kindly. May we have the first one? Yes, where are my girls? Granted.
Okay, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Chigen Rashid from Jinja City, and I call myself a proud accountant. I've raised a point of information, and I would like to inform all the youth. Yes, I support the motion of employment in agriculture, but I believe that there are a lot of youth who have different skills and knowledge in different things. For example, for me, I can participate in agriculture, but I don't have that passion. So I decided on to move on another chapter that is in accounting and finance. And I started teaching myself different softwares, and I would like to let you know that right now I'm working with one of the biggest company in Spain. It's called Ultimate Beauty as a junior accountant. Why? Because let us be versatile. This is an information to you. And I started an initiative. It is called NCBS, and I have an organization called Sharing Circles Initiative. We teach and train youth from universities who don't have the knowledge in accounting softwares, and we teach you how to use taxes. Recently, we saw a lot of people complaining about taxes, IFRIS. For me, I was laughing. I knew how to use IFRIS system, and I was like, these people don't know that Rashid is here. So why are you like in that dilemma? So I want to urge you people that if we can be versatile and try to learn other things, we can get a lot of opportunities. I want to end by saying, join my initiative. I train you how to register taxes, and I train you how to use QuickBooks and other things. Thank you.
I think the information has been taken by
again.
the Agas House.
Thank you.
Let us have Honorable Docas from Mayuge. Honorable should keep away from their phones as people submit. These are crucial matters that are being discussed, and I believe everyone here should be interested in listening to these pertinent issues. Thank you.
Okay, once again, I'm Namko Sidokas, representing from Mayuge. I'm here on the motion 7-2. Okay, my point is going like on the inflation on the prices. During the time of harvesting, it's tend to decline. And when you're investing, like the money you put in the input, it is too high.
Honorable, try to raise your voice and rephrase your submission.
Okay. My point is about the price inflation, where the price tends to go down in time of harvestation. And when you are putting in, it tends to be high, the money you put. But when it's time for output, like what you get from when the money is down, exactly you are getting nothing, where the farmers are getting discouraged. And this, if it is worked upon, like we try to put, when we get some slight profit, where farmers they can get to be encouraged. So I called upon, because it needs surely, if it is you, we're putting much, but when the gain is less, you feel like
Thank you so
hopeless.
much, Honorable.
Okay, thank you.
I think we should be brief in our submission such that we leave here early. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Jinja Michael Senkole, a member of the European Union Youth Sounding Board, but also founder of Hummingbird Foundation. Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to start off by expressing my frustration. For starters, we are here to represent the views of the young people in Busoga. And to me, I feel while we rush to leave this place early, it is a disservice to the young people of Busoga. The topic we had earlier on, teenage pregnancy. Busoga is way higher than the average of the country. I don't think it is acceptable for us to sit here and rush out for us to go into our comfort, and we leave the young girls suffering. And then, moving on to the motion at hand, I would like to say a few things about it. Whereas there is need to amend and review the current strategy, I feel there is more need to call on the implementation of the strategy. If you look at everything that is put out, all the thematic areas that have been put out, they are directly into the things that have been put out in the National Development Plan 3. And I think it is even going to come out more in the National Development Plan 4. So let us try to call on the leaders and the relevant stakeholders to invest, to hold those accountable, to hold those people in powers that should be accountable, to ensure that this financing is well used, but also the programs that have been put out there are implemented and come to the person that really needs them. But overall, I would like to stress the fact that we need to focus on the young people of Busoga. We have the biggest age demographic in the country right now, 70% over 35, but 50.5% over 18. So if we come out, those are teenagers. So if we come out here and say we are going to rush out and leave this house, I don't think it's in order, right, Honorable Speaker, for the honorable members to look down on the people of Busoga.
Thank you so much. That deliberation has been put into consideration and the Speaker has reconsidered. We shall have more time on the remaining motions.
To the August House, good afternoon. My name is Wanyama Priscilla from Bujiri. I would like to also put out something about the moving motion. Yes, government has brought about programs that are reviving agriculture, but has government empowered and endeavored to go back to community to find out whether these programs are working? And who is being given the opportunity to participate in these programs? Way back where I come from, as I speak right now, there are programs that are moving, but they are saying they are for the youth,
But when you go on ground, you'll find a 35-year person, 40-year-old person is taking charge of everything. Then you wonder, you ask yourself, they are saying it is for the youth. Is it really helping us? So I beg to submit.
I think our dear partners are taking some issues into consideration.
Right Honorable Speaker, my fellow members, good afternoon to everyone. At the motion at hand, for the interest of time, I'll just talk about it with 3 points. The first point, if you to look at the young people from primary, agriculture, it's not there. I think we know that. And the first point is mindset change. I'll just encourage our government to put more workshops to encourage the younger people. I'm very sure here in this August House, many of us, we look at farmers as people who are not professionals. We look farmers as people. But if the government is to encourage the young people and change the mindset of the young people to say that we engage into agriculture. Another thing is skilling. We want to thank the government. They have done the best thing. They have tried to skill the young people, but there are a lot of challenges. For example, the issue of land. Many young people have skills, but they don't have where to practice, to put these things into what? Practice. Yes, the government recently have been serving out cows from different constituencies, but you give a youth a cow, yet he doesn't have land where to look after the cow to get more cows. They just sell them. I think that the government provide land to the young people, and young people practice the agriculture from there. You can look at different departments. The government is giving out land to investors in agriculture here in Uganda who have big farms, but they're not empowering the younger people to say that they practice into this. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. And to the youth that have received the cows, please, you can take them to the village. I believe the government knows that people own land. When you go to Buyende, there is a lot of land that side. Honorable, you can testify. A lot of land in the village and it's not being utilized. So I think taking these cows to the village will do us something good. As they multiply, you know, you are not selling the cow because you're going to sell it for 1 million and then you'll buy an iPhone. Yes, please. Honorable, I think you may hold on. There is this honorable that would like to submit. I think you will be after him.
Well, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And all the honorables in the House. I know the previous honorable has presented issue of very good importance, but I would like us to have a very comfortable discussion. So we need to get solutions to the problems that we are having here, especially agriculture for young persons, involving young persons. So I would like to call upon the government. Yes, we have a lot of young persons in agriculture, it's true, but there's a problem of access to finances. The young persons don't have the capital to invest in agriculture. So I would like to urge the government to make accessible agricultural financing for young persons so that they can carry out the agriculture. Because a lot of them have no access to employment. Agriculture is another alternative. Let them have access to borrow money so that they can really invest in agriculture. So I think that will really mitigate the issue of unemployment. I also urge upon the government to build capacity through training. Let them train and skill young persons how to use technology, especially in relation to farming or agriculture. You know, a lot of persons had to have the hard labor in agriculture. But if we train them and equip them with new modern technology, for example, tractors, it can really improve on the production. So it's very important. Technology is a very important activity. I want also to mention the issue of persons with ability, young persons with ability. A lot of them don't have access to land, the factors of production. Well, I've seen other countries, especially developed countries, they are using technology to support young persons' ability to engage in agriculture. I think we can also replicate such good practices and empower persons with ability to participate in agriculture. For example, operating a tractor. We have these other mini tractors that can be operated very well. So those are good tools. I beg to submit. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for your submission. Let us have Honorable Prince Job Mugoya from Bujiri to give in his submission.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for having given me another chance to come and submit. Let me first confess through this August House that I'm one of the few people who had got a special grant from the Office of the President. I was given a haifa without a knowledge. But when I was given a haifa without a knowledge, I had to seek for the advice from those who were having farms. Now, the challenge with the youth and the government together, they always give things to go to the community without giving those people enough knowledge on how to use things. I therefore urge the government, if you are to give job a haifa, let them first train us how to keep those haifas, how to use the fertilizers in our farms, because some of us, we grew up growing maize without fertilizers until the soil just changed because of the weather. So I therefore ask the government, if they are ready to give anything to the youth, we are not experienced in the gardens because we have been at school. Let them come back to the ground, let them use the sub-county chiefs and the parish chiefs, and then they must have the specialists in agriculture at the sub-county level so that we can tackle on this about the agriculture. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let me have Honorable Jane.
Thank you so much, Speaker and the House at large. Good afternoon. My name is Jane Frances Nawire. I'm a Samia from Busia District, Bogati Village. I'm here to talk about the motion. I'm siding with the Honorable that is just from here, but we have leaders at county levels, sub-county levels, and district levels. We are being given all these products, but we also have parents that don't want to leave their land. I'm urging the government to maybe put study sessions, conferences for our parents to really understand that even if we have gone to school, the jobs are scarce, meaning they have to get down to our opinions and understand that they need to support us in the best way possible. This is what I had to submit, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Jane.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable. My name is Mwanda Ronald from Bugiri. I would like to raise my concern to the government of Uganda through you, Right Honorable Speaker, and August House. And this is the issue of the government buying off the excess. We are worried, the youth, before they are to go into agriculture, there is a worry. What shall happen in case there is that bumper harvest? Imagine me have the potential to plant 15 acres of maize, but my worry is what will happen in case the maize goes high in production, the production is high. Who shall buy? We all know that prices do fluctuate depending on the production. So I urge the government to come out and establish stores so that they're in a position to buy off the excess from the youth. Then our prices shall be a little bit high, and the youth shall fully participate into agriculture. Otherwise, with these low prices, as a result of bump harvest, then the youth will have those fears. So through my Right Honorable, I beg that the government take it serious.
To inquire, like if there is a bumper harvest, don't you think if people hold these goods that will be hoarding?
What happens in the case of a bumper harvest? According to the laws of demand, the prices will automatically go down. So what should the government do in such areas where there's a bumper harvest, excess, let's say excess maize, the government should establish stores, buy from the youth at a stable price, so that by the time they shoot it still, in case of a need for more production, then they shall just go to their stores and provide to people. Other than our youth is suffering with low prices because of bumper harvest. I beg to submit, Madam Speaker. And welcome another question. Still on floor. Thank you.
Let me have Honorable Kusasira.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm called Kusasire Manuel. I'm not a born of this place, but I'm a resident of this place, Jinja. My concern about agriculture, first has been already talked about the stores. For me, I wanted to say the national granary, like we have a national granary, but that one is already explained. Another issue is about poor benchmarking. Uganda is a developing country. The Ministry of Agriculture and other concerned people have not done what we are supposed to do, a true benchmarking in agriculture. What do I mean? They have not benchmarked the countries that are of the same climatic conditions and status. When I said climate conditions and status, I mean Asian tigers. Those countries have emerged without any single aid from the foreign countries, and they have emerged without using GMOs, and they have thrived in agriculture system. They don't benchmark. We are running and we run and go to what we cannot do, bite. Finding that we are running to go to the US to run agriculture, whereby they have advanced. They are 90 years ahead of us. We go and benchmark countries that are not too far from us. Another thing is our education system. It has also done something worse as far as agriculture is concerned. And of recent, I got annoyed when I heard they are again phasing out technical institutes that teach students about what? Agriculture. Technical institutes, nursing institutes. So you see that agriculture is deteriorating. So if there is someone who can take those issues up, should be mindful of that. Another one is technology. Technology has not been injected too much in the agriculture system, whereby mechanization, I hear mechanization, but even in our place, I've never seen a tractor. Yes.
Honorable, what constituents are you coming from?
I come from Kazo.
Surely you've not seen
I've
any
not
tractor?
seen a tractor. You go there, they tell you that it is having issues. The
But
tractor
you've
is
seen-
one.
You've seen a tractor?
Yes, I know tractors, how they look like, but I've never seen a tractor in a farm.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe I see the ones at the construction site. So, you see that the agriculture system we are in, it is worrying. Like my brother who said that he got a heifer. I'm sorry to say. You find them Soga getting a heifer, not aware of how to take care of it. They have not yet briefed him about it. You see? We have to be undertaken, we have to be undertaken through what? Through training and mentorship of what we are going to begin. up with. So, I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable. At least he has clarified that he has ever seen a tractor in his constituency. Yes, let us have Honorable Claire.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Once again, I'm Nambi Claire, representing the youths of Jinja City. On the issue of agriculture, I urge the government to at least train the youths in different, I'll call it different sectors of agriculture. I would not like my brother said, my brother Mwanda, that that will be maybe hamper harvest. We should not all put our eggs in the same bracket. For those who are meant to be, who are interested in taking agriculture within tomatoes, for those who can be able to do, to plant the maize, for those who can do the potatoes, we can do a variety of stuff. And in addition, agriculture is not basically much more on digging. Other people, we can as well be innovative and creative and add addition to the products which are already available. As I'm leaving this microphone, I'd urge the government to also monitor the programs that they are giving out to the youths in agriculture. You find that most of these programs are for the youths, and you find the adults, the senior youths, are the ones taking up that. As I summarize, my brother Honorable Hussein talked about the government giving out the land. Yes, the government to some of the youths, it has given out land. I'll give an example of the land of Nakabango, where Honorable Tusubila, he knows very well about it. That land was given to the youths way back, 10 years back. I was a youth leader within Jinja City, and that land was given to the youths. It was so unfortunate that this land again was taken up by the elders of the community, the chairpersons of the community, and the youths were not able to benefit from it. And then in addition to that, the senior youths, they could not give a chance to ask the young youths to also benefit out of this land. So I urge the government to put at least the rules and regulations that in case this land is for the youth, let it be for the youths. If the senior youths, their time has gone, let them allow also the young youths to also enjoy the land. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Claire. We are going to have the last submission on this motion. Yes, please. And please let us provide evidence, because we need evidence and facts in this house. If you bring allegations here, you will be arrested.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable members, as our region, Busoga, we are well known that the most of the commercial product we are having in agriculture, it is all about sugarcane. Now, most of our youth dealing in agriculture, dealing with the sugarcane plantations, whereby right now, as I speak now, there is a strike that is going on with the price of the sugarcane.
Where is the strike, Honorable?
Within among the millers and those suppliers.
How are they striking?
They are striking.
How are they striking?
There is a strike that's going on. There is suppliers who are supplying the.
Yes, please, Honorable. Please.
Through Madam Speaker, I want to inform the August House that the farmers in the Busoga sub-region opted for a strike not to supply to the millers because of low prices. Currently, as I speak now, the price of a ton of sugarcane is at 110. So the farmers opted to sit down, and if in case they find you supplying Unless maybe when you take to Madivani and you are part of his outgrowers. Otherwise, all millers, current as I speak now, Maiga is closed, Kaliro is closed, and the Kamuli is closed.
Thank
I'm
you so
speaking
much,
out of a point of
Honorable, for the information. And my clerk, I
Thank you.
think you've noted
Thank you so
that
much.
down.
Now, Madam Speaker, before I conclude, most of the youth right now, they are unemployed because of that strike. They're not getting anything. So, assuming someone is benefiting from that, from those projects, from that, from those sugar cane gundi stuff, now how will they benefit from that? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I'd like to invite the mover of the motion in his defense, such that members can vote later on.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. But as you, by your grace, you had ruled that this motion, you'll give it more time. I hope that you fulfill that, Madam Speaker.
Honorable, I've already allowed 8 submissions.
Madam Speaker, I would have to respond to the submissions because some were raising issues that are within this strategy. Now,
I think try to summarize within 2 minutes.
2 minutes are not enough.
They'll
3
be
minutes at
enough
least,
for you,
Madam Speaker.
Honorable.
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, this strategy was very, very good. Although it was from 2017 up to 2023 because it has a costed plan of 5 years. So the honorable member, Mr. Chigenyi, Honorable Chigenyi, spoke about access to ICT. And Madam Speaker, I want to inform the House that strategy 1.5 clearly stipulates youth access to ICT. I think the clerk could have taken us through. Then, Honorable Namukose Dokas was speaking about the implementation of the strategy. Madam Speaker, that strategy, the same strategy, in its first strategy, it clearly stipulates how that strategy is meant to be implemented. Actually, Honorable Namukose was talking about this strategy being in place but not being implemented. But the same costed plan clearly explains that this strategy was meant to be taught to 60% of the young people. And I believe that most of us, some of us are seeing the book for the first time. And it has expired because it is 5 years after 2017. Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker, Honorable Wanyama of Bujiri was talking about government going back to the community. And that strategy on strategy number 1, it clearly gives an M&E framework. Actually, what you are holding is the M&E framework, the monitoring and evaluation framework of that very strategy. The indicators, the performance indicators, and what we shall know that it is working or not. He was also speaking about access to the market when we have young people. And 1.6, if you can check the clerk, 1.6 clearly speaks about youth access to the market. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ibra was talking about mindset change. And strategy 1.1 clearly speaks about mindset change of the young people.
Honorable, you are just mentioning points, but you're not explaining as to why their submissions should be either upgraded or something. Please.
No, their submissions are not meant to be upgraded, but I'm first informing the honorable members of the House that their submissions are very valid and they are well covered in the strategy. They are within the implementation plan of the strategy. That is the first thing I wanted them to understand, so that we can fully urge the government to review this strategy. Because fact is, the ideas are there, but they were not implemented. Strategy 1.2 speaks about youth land fund. Clerk, if you can open 1.2. Enhance land access and control by the youth. Establish a youth land fund. We are talking about young people having government products, but they have nowhere to put them because they don't have access to land. Yet this strategy clearly speaks about young people accessing land and the government establishing a fund that enables young people to buy land, because we know that no one is born with land. We only grow up and what? And acquire it. And most young people do not have that. Madam Speaker, there are very many here, but one thing that is not part of that strategy is the bulking. And we want to urge government that as they're reviewing this, truth is we need national granaries, because it talks about us enhancing production, but it does not speak about if we get this production, this bumper harvest, what happens next? And as the honorable member from Bujiri was clearly speaking, that the laws of capitalism indicate that when you have a higher supply, demand decreases. Hence, prices must go down. So we need to urge government to establish national granaries. We have one in Jinja here, but it is not. It is a private. It is a private investment. It is called Agroways. Yeah, it buys in bulk, but it is private. So we want government to establish its own granaries as they review this plan. So, Madam Speaker, I wish to request the honorable members of this honorable parliament to adopt the motion urging government to review the national youth strategy for employment in agriculture, so that we can have young people going into agriculture and we can have a prosperous country. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kalyango has been detailed, and it is a sign that he made his research and is very well versed with whatever he was speaking about. Thank you so much, Honorable, for being diligent and taking your time to see through these issues of the youth. Next on the order paper, on procedure, we are going to vote on this motion. Those that are agreeing may stand up. No, the speaker said stand up. Those agreeing. Yes, the front row agrees, plus all the members on the, apart from Honorable. Okay, the House has agreed to vote on this. Thank you so much.
Honorable members of parliament, next on the agenda is item 7.3, though it was wrongly indicated as 7.4. And it is that the motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to enhance the response to address the rising cases of HIV/AIDS in Busoga region. This motion shall be moved by Honorable Mugabe David.
Honorable Mugabe David, the floor is yours. And we should note that the Parliament of Uganda has a committee on HIV and AIDS. I think the Honorable will provide the facts about this and what the AIDS committee has done. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of this August House, I'm Mugabe David, representing the youth of Mayuge District. Standing before you, I come to move a motion 7.3, which is indicated as 7.4. Motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to enhance their response to address the rising cases of HIV/AIDS in Busoga sub-region. Mugabe David is someone who is having a social media account, very many of them, and just of recent, when the results were released, most of you were sharing how this region is. For example, the Western has been greatly infected by HIV/AIDS on your statuses, and I was happy by then. So now today I move this motion and I call upon this August House to second my motion.
Can we have seconders?
Thank you, Right Honorable. Balitumie Felix from Kamuli District, or that is the constituency which I'm representing. Indeed, according to the research that was done last year in May, we saw that the prevalence was at 3,200, that is for Busoga region. And on that note, I stand to second this motion. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Hanifa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good afternoon once again. My name is Namgosa Hanifa. I'm here representing youth from Mayuge, and I'm here to second the motion of urging the government to enhance their response to address the rising causes of HIV in Busoga region. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Mugabe, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The August House, thank you for supporting, for seconding my motion. First of all, in most cases, we always talk about things that we don't know. We have always been hearing about HIV, stroke or AIDS, but most of us, I believe that we even don't know what it means. It is very hard for us to fight against something that we don't know. That is why even during wars, members go and find out how to fight these enemies, where, you know, the places of weakness and so on. HIV stands for human immunodeficiency.
Are you implying that people are going for wars without knowing what's there?
I beg your pardon?
Are you implying that people are going for wars while not knowing what they're going to find there?
Sometimes. I have ever been a victim.
You went to explore? The people in the house, Honorable says he has been a victim of going to war.
When I don't know the strengths of my enemy.
Which war was that, Honorable?
Madam Speaker, let me answer this later. I just beg.
But did the Honorable really go in for a war? What were you fighting against, Honorable?
Mugabe David,
Point
Madam
of
Speaker.
information. Granted.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm rising to inform this House that most likely the Honorable Member was using the word war metaphorically. It was just a figure of speech, and I request, Right Honorable, that you take it
Before
that
you
way.
leave,
Thank you.
I would like Honorable Mugabe to come and say yes, I was using it as a figure of speech.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
So HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. Then AIDS stands for acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Just of recent, the results when I was presenting this motion to you, like the numbers, according to Busoga, it is 3,200 people who are affected, and mostly the young ones aged between 15 to 30 years of age. So this has really showed that if at all these numbers, I'm not so sure about the whole population of Busoga, but if 3,200...
Honorable, can I send you back to confirm the population of Busoga before you come? If the House agrees to let him continue without the population of Busoga, I think you should raise up your hands, those that agree for him to continue without knowing the population of Busoga.
Without knowing. No, then the issue of discussion is no longer there.
Have you all agreed he should continue? Yes. Continue, Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Me coming from Maige district, and someone who has always been engaging with young people down there, because I own a CBO, which is called NIFE Initiative, we have always been going and interacting with these young children, and in most cases, they have always given us reasons as to why they have been fallen victims of HIV stroke or AIDS. In most cases, the song that is in here, Busoga, or even when you call your friend, will tell you, I'm poor, and I'm broke. So imagine these young people, the ones who sometimes drop out of schools, the ones who don't have access to good skills and so on, so that they can make a living. How would they not be victims of HIV/AIDS? Because mostly this sends them into getting partners who, in most cases, are big people owning cars. The one who's owning institution is competing with the young ones. So it is really a call to all of us, knowing what HIV is and how ably we can fight this. It is on record that it is 1% increment annually in Uganda, according to statistics. And in most cases, we are all aware that in Busoga, around 70% households are owned by young mothers who have dropped out, who have even divorced their partners in most cases, and they are taking care of these children at home. Me, standing in front of you, I have studied right from primary 1 up to the university, when I have never seen any coin from my father. So meaning that most of these mothers within Busoga, they have no any other source of money. They are somehow leaving their children to go and fall victims of this. Even in this class, I believe that if you're to make this column stand, you realize that around the 3 to 4 or maximally 5 know about their HIV stroke or AIDS status. And because of that, personally, me, I'm a teacher somewhere, and I have always been interacting with the youth. But someone who goes up to 18 years of age, when he or she has never taken for a test. So in most cases, these are the people we are finding falling, all the time being sick and so on, but they fear to go and shake up themselves. This motion is not a blame to government, because government, you have seen that it has put up, it has allowed different organizations like Uganda AIDS Commission to come and do work within us. It has empowered it also, but most of us, surprisingly, the youth who are mostly affected by HIV/AIDS, we no longer want to go and test. If they call us maybe for campaigns and so on, to tell us, because we have very many different ways of how we can acquire HIV/AIDS, we don't want. And surprisingly, we are the people who are not using the preventive measures, like the use of condoms and so on. So I'm urging the government to still empower the youth, because we have seen the causes, and the causes always take us to the solutions. So the government, right, you have put up those organizations, some even, I have evidence, Madam Speaker, where I was called for a certain activity. Surprisingly, the organization which had called us just came, gave us the kits, the ones that you use to go and shake yourself at home. They didn't tell us what to do, but they were lashing somewhere. And for them, what they were interested in mostly, it is the names, the records of people who have taken these. So for them, they go and print out and be like, according to this, we have supplied, and many people know about their HIV status. Yet in reality, they don't know. Me, I even failed to use the kit. Even when I was following the instructions which were put in, I still made one mistake, and even up to now, the record is, the results that I have were of May about my HIV stand. So I'm urging you people, before I move out of this Jinja district, going back to Mayuge, I'll pass by the hospital. So that I know my stand. So something that is on record, that in Mbalala district, or Mbalala, the other Western Nile region, is the highest. Let me use Mbalala. Let me use Mbalala. That in Mbalala, it is having the highest numbers, of which most of us, we always move we move from Jinja, we move from Busoga, and go and interact with the other people. So in most cases for us as the youth, we see that there are opportunities, even when someone was addressing you here, that ladies, you're always seen as opportunities to be manipulated. And the minister for tourism has said that as she was talking about the Miss Tourism. So
Thank you
sometimes
so much,
as we close, we see.
Honorable, those are so far 6 minutes that you've used. I beg to open the house for dialogue.
Fine.
Okay, like 50 seconds, summarize.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm summarizing by saying that to address this, we call on the government to increase access to HIV services, that is including PrEP and testing, implement targeted interventions to address poverty, illiteracy, because many people are fallen victims because they don't know how they can prevent themselves from this happening. And the misinformation about HIV/AIDS, that even if you don't use the preventive measures, you won't be able to acquire this disease because of this and this. Provide additional resources and support to the Uganda AIDS Commission and other organizations that can ably move down to villages. They be the foot soldiers in the fight against HIV/AIDS within Busoga sub-region. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I think this topic is kind of interesting because personally I've had interactions with fellow youth because I was the Minister of Health and someone told me for them they don't use condoms. So as you offer your government condoms, I tell you I don't use condoms, I don't use those ones. So ideally, I don't know what they use, but youth have a major role to play, like to help out the government to tackle these issues, because the government does something, but then a youth is saying, I don't like these government condoms, but the government is really trying. So in our deliberations, I think we should consider that the government has also done a part, something. Thank you. Let me have Honorable Daniel.
Thank you so much.
Daniel, before you submit, make sure you're providing facts and figures.
Sure. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Dante Daniel. I come from Mayuge District. It's part of Busoga region. We all agree that Uganda as a country, probably under the Uganda AIDS Commission, have a target to end AIDS by 2030. By calculations, we have like 6 years left for us to end that. The latest leaflet from the Uganda AIDS Commission shows that we still have more than 7% to 8% increment in the prevalence of HIV/AIDS. Now, the big question that comes is, how are we then going to do that? I'm making reference to leaflets provided by the Uganda AIDS Commission on their website, and also the Committee on HIV/AIDS in Parliament, and also information provided by the UNAIDS. Now, there is a 30% of the young population in Busoga region who go for HIV testing. 30% is a really small amount, meaning that most of the young people in Busoga region probably don't know their HIV status and probably don't know how to protect themselves against HIV. Again, over 3,200 cases, these are evidences provided by the Uganda AIDS Commission, have been from people of 15 years to 30 years. Now, the mover of this motion told us that over 70% of the rural households in Busoga region are managed by females. And in this communication, it shows that females are over 60% of the entire cases of new HIV infections. What that means is that the communities and the households which are owned by these females will probably have a ruin in their future in the next 5 to 10 years. Why? Because they are the ones contracting HIV the most, and they are the ones at the forefront of HIV infections. Now, what does this show for us as Busoga region? That means that the entire rural population will probably be rotten by the end of 10 to 15 years if we do not do anything. Now, this tells us that there is a direct link between HIV cases, between teenage pregnancies, and probably school dropout, right? Because if we are saying that the new cases are for people of 15 years to 30 years, those are like the young generation. Those are like the most productive ages that we have. Now, if they go rotten, that shows you how much this is an agency that government needs to intervene in. Now, if we talk about enhancements of responses, probably from the grassroots, we're looking at where these people come from, right? Each of these young people have their homes. Each of them have a families that they live in. Now, the reason why we are calling on government is because government has structures in every region, in every district of Busoga region. Now, as a way forward, I would think that there is need for us to adopt a probably local kind of law enforcement, maybe a bylaw, in conjunction with Busoga Kingdom, in conjunction with the local government, and in conjunction with the Parliament of Uganda, so that we have a bylaw set in place that each district probably, or each clan within the region, tends to have this law that limits the cases of HIV. One, that also limits the issues of teenage pregnancies that comes from within. I think this is a more local and probably sustainable way that we can reduce on the teenage pregnancies and also reduce on the spread of HIV/AIDS. I beg to submit.
Honorable Shifa. We are all promoting inclusiveness, so we shall have ladies and men interacting.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm Namukwana Shifa, a proud teacher of chemistry and mathematics. Yes, so Right Honorable Speaker, we are talking about HIV, stroke, AIDS. And we know that the things we the people, we know how we can control this. First of all, I can give you an example because I live in Bugembe. And in Uganda, we have high rates of HIV spread. Why? Because girls have the mentality of saying, even you boys, most of the boys are here, they like the mentality of saying that they don't want condoms, you get it? It is not sweet when you're using condoms. I'm serious, yeah. Because I have friends, I always interact with them, you get. Yet the youth right now, they have a high libido. You know that. They have a high libido more than the elder people, not so. Yeah, so yesterday, yeah, it was just so recent, that was yesterday. I was interacting with some sisters of mine and some friends, and I was like, have you ever tested for HIV? Then she was like, no. How about your boyfriend? No. But then when you're having sexual intercourse, do you use a condom? No. Then I was like, why? Then she was like, he does not have. When you look at him, he just says that he's healthy. How can you know that someone is healthy? How can you know that? You get it? Members, let me tell you this. We all know that the youth right now have a high libido. Because I stay with my friends, they always want to have sex all the time. But then you don't want to use condoms. Why? Members, now if you don't want to use condoms, then you abstain. Then you abstain. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can abstain. I can give me right now. I can abstain, Right Honorable Speaker. But then, I'm serious. I abstain. Yes. Now, members, according to my region in Bugembe, I've seen the cases. What we can do, because I have a friend who was infected with HIV, but most of us, when we get to know that the person is infected, we tend to do what? To discriminate them, not so. And that gives them what? Always they are not what? They are not comfortable with us. So I had a friend who was infected and she was discriminated. So what she decided to do, she wanted to infect most of the boys, you get. So whenever she used to have sex, she used to be like, I had sex with that one, is going to get infected, you get. So members, if you get to know the person who is infected, don't isolate the person. Just get the person and you also get to know how you have to do what? To abstain, you get. Members, it is better to abstain, I'm telling you. Because you people, you don't want condoms. I know. So, Right Honorable Speaker, according to my region, let them just provide the condoms, because I know some can do that.
Should I take the hammering as agreeing to abstain or something? A member is agreeing to abstain. Nay.
Is that the one? Is it point of information? Yeah. Okay, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and all the members in the House. I'll not be so long, I'll be very brief, very brief. So I hope you will all get me when I am summarizing my presentation. Well, about the issue of So I'm again Honorable Sharif from Jinja City. Well, I've been moving around and I've met a lot of persons in the healthcare system. But the greatest challenge I've realized is access to HIV information and services. It's still lacking for a lot of young persons. So a lot of persons are still having these services paid for, even to just have a test. So there are a lot of programs that are happening around, but a lot of young persons are not accessing them, especially contraceptives and other SRHR services. So if we have regional centers where these persons can access them, we'll be also able to combat the issue. And also the issue of training, sensitization on SRHR services and information. That can also help and is very important. It's very important to have awareness, though it is very weak at the moment. We need to promote and sensitize promote awareness. We need to have strong awareness campaigns, okay? So we no need only to dwell on government efforts only. We need to work together. And also we need to really stop this issue of discriminating persons with persons with HIV. We need to really encourage openness and declaration. If I know your status, I can have a right way to help you instead of discriminating you. You get the point? So sometimes even if I'm to engage in any activity or an affair, I'm from an informed mind. So a lot of persons believe that if you have a sexual encounter with a person with disability, you can cure of HIV. For example, you have a lot of young girls who are deaf. They've really been forced into sexual activities. With a mind, people thinking that when you have a sexual activity with such a person with disability, you will cure of your HIV status. So there's a lot of misinformation on HIV and care in the region.
Summarize.
Then finally, my appeal to government, especially we need to really have a budget allocation for Busoga region especially. Local governments, okay? They've been complaining a lot. We need to implement these activities, but the money is not enough. So with a little budget, you cannot do anything. So we need more funding. Government should fund these programs so that these activities are well implemented on the ground. There, we can end HIV/AIDS. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the submission. Let me have Honorable Emmanuel. Honorable Sharif has talked about a number of issues ranging from information, youth paying for these tests, the sensitization is low, and also people should stop stigmatizing.
Thank you, madam. Let me be too fast. The issue of HIV surging among the youths, I think it's not, the government has done its part. And most of its part, it was in 1995. This generation of ours, the Gen Z, immorality. Inclusive. Immorality. Yes, immorality. Immorality. It is killing us. Another thing, the training music, obscenity. You want the government even to arrest musician. You hear the music that we play. Enkudi, Uzambe. You know, some people, and such kind of music, it even portrays somewhat practical obscenity. Another thing, Minister of Soga, Tourism. It's called what? Nyege nyege. The government has totally failed. But as Usoga Kingdom, why don't you put some strategies to limit obscenity? You saw what was trending during Nyege Nyege Festival. Now, if you try to make alterations, how many people that acquired HIV at that time? You see? So, Usoga, Nyege Nyege, as Usoga, I'm a tourism student, Usoga is an adventure stay. But being an adventure stay, okay.
Point of information granted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good afternoon, members, honorable members. So, about this issue of Mr. Honorable. No, those people, they can play their enkudi, they can go in nyege nyege, they can use condom by doing those things. How do you see? Now I'm asking you, honorable members, because how can you tell people to not to go, not to play their enkudi, and someone is playing enkudi because that is where he gains, he earns what? Yes.
And he's also a youth, by the way.
Hmm?
He's also a youth.
And nyege nyege. When you talk about nyege, I'm not promoting, but my point is they can still go there in nyege nyege, but still they can abstain, or they can, they can use condom.
Honorable Emmanuel was citing that these songs, there is that way that they incite. They just keep on encouraging.
But we are talking about HIV.
Yes, so as you're playing a Nkudi song, whatever it's meaning.
You can get time and at least put on that what? Condom. Yes. I'm done.
Point of information there.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I was in 2017 in Germany, and I'd gone for tourism, but I think some other things should not drive us away from the way of curbing down the rise of HIV/AIDS because of what we want, yet there is something we are supposed to do. One, if you play the song Enkudi and the other people want to practice what is Enkudi, then it means we are going viral, raising up than curbing down. So, Right Honorable Speaker,
I have an inquiry. What is Enkudi? Because we are talking about it, but some of us honestly don't. What is Enkudi? Because it is not a parliamentary language.
Right
So
Honorable
please,
Speaker.
Give us an explanation of
Right
what
Honorable
Enkudi
Speaker, the word Enkudi, I heard one time on social media when someone was explaining that it means that bottom edge, the inside part of something called, because now this is a straight talk, I can say Enkudi is the vagina. Yes.
Oh, honorable member.
We are
so
speaking
this
open now because it has come, because you asked and I'm now answering. Now,
I have answered my question, those of you that have been wondering. Let him first finish his point of information.
so, Right Honorable Speaker, I'm just informing this August House that countries like Germany, though you are going for something that brings money in the country, when you reach in Germany, just in the check-in, they test for HIV/AIDS, and even, yes, they use 15 minutes on you. When you go in, you're a new person. In the check-in, they just use your passport. Because I was there in 2017 and it happened on me, I was with the ambassador. So, I don't know how it is being done, but we need to curb this by not using some viral words to practice. Thank you so much.
Okay, please, order in the house. I have been guided because I'm only human. I'm not the person supposed to grant the point of information. So allow me hand over the microphone to the Honorable on the floor. Honorable, if you're happy with the point of information, please grant it.
I've brought him, but it's going to cause me issues. Now, okay, you come.
Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, thank you, the August House. I'm standing to inform this House just about the word Enkudi, but as I do that, I want to also note that this one I have only come to inform. I request, Right Honorable Speaker, that after I have gone back, you give me a chance, because every person that is speaking here is in support of the motion. Now, if at all you could give chance to people that are against the motion. Now, about Enkudi, I hope she had. About Enkudi, the word Enkudi does not mean as it came out. Now, Enkudi, this is colloquialism, you know. We are in parliament, but I think we can be allowed to use that. The song goes, Amazina Bagaita. Now, that is just definition. Enkudi is just a dance. It is not anything that we go to.
Thank you so much. I think about Enkudi, we've all understood. I think there shouldn't be any other information, point of information on Enkudi. Thank you so much.
Maybe you didn't hear out. You didn't hear me out.
Give out your point.
Yes, I was also saying that.
You have tricked me into allowing you to speak.
No. I was only bringing out this, that you should also give people who are against this motion to give their view so that we take that in. It could be.
I cannot tell who is against by you raising up your hand.
Allow me to finish.
Please allow the Honorable
Allow me to finish. Now, that's what I was telling you. This generation of ours, we don't want to accept the what? The facts. We are 18 years and above. Which message do you pick from those musics? For example, I want to speak the reality of the music. There is where they release those fake music rapidly. There is Enkudi, there is Shifra, there is this song of those. And why do I say so? If I'm a person who likes Kadongo Kamu, Rongego music, when I pray it with my fellows, I get abused. And the music, there is a song of Kafero warning people, Garenzi Mwe. It warns about what? The so-called Nkudu and other things. When you pray, they chase you away. But when you pray there, those funny songs. Actually, what I want to tell you, those people, there is how they confuse their music. When they are singing, they sing in, I'm sorry to use a biblical word, parables. But the real thing they portray in the video, it portrays what? The reality.
Honorable, don't you think you're ever interpreting these songs?
I'm interpreting for you to show you the obscenity and the source of HIV.
Kati, how about these people? Proceed, yeah.
I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise on the rules of procedure. I do not think it's procedural enough for a matter that has been debated to always be repeated. In the rules of procedure, 84.
Thank you so much. I think that was an oversight.
Okay, thank you. As I'm winding up, I was still requesting my Honorable Minister restrictions on Nyege. Otherwise, you are starting a war in Jinja that you will not do what? Finish. We, the youth, we are still powerful to spread the disease. It's like a bushfire. That's the reality. Let me stop from there. Thank you.
So much. I think the issue was addressed to Honorable Minister, and she's actually present. I think she can give us an insight. She'll speak about whether Nyege is promoting immorality or we are promoting tourism.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, the August House. One thing I wanted to bring to your attention, that indeed the songs you were talking about that I cannot mention, you know, when you're growing up, what you feed your soul is what will define who you'll be. That is why, as parents, we keep our children in the line of the Christian faith, yeah, growth. So as you're here, what you feed your soul is what is going to, those will be the fruits of you. Now, when you sleep in your bed and then, you know, you listen to such songs, just imagine the output the following day. It is like one time I was giving a speech before the ICT ministry, and I was asking them to curb on the accessibility of pony. So when the youth watches the pony, you'll end up doing masturbation, and then you weaken. So you become impotent, you become a problem to the community. So the youths who are here, stop. Those things of arguing that you listen, then you go use the condom. I'm telling you as a parent, and I have boys only. So it's so painful to have a boy who listens to such music, and then you have to put it in practice. Why don't you listen to Christian? Why don't you listen to other music? I've been fighting with the musicians here in Busoga, and it's the fight that I'm fighting. We are against those who sing the obscene communication, because it's going to affect your soul growth. Then he spoke about the nyege. The only problem with the nyege is the name, how you feed it. How do you feed on it? Because you want to take the translation of nyege in Kenya, and you want to bring it here. So for them, they copied the name from Bunyoro. Who knows Runyege? Whatever you've been doing, that is the Runyege. Shaking, shaking. So they got those two names and then combined. Now for you, because in Kenya, nyega nyega is what? Who knows Swahili? Dance, dance. So for you, when you get that communication, put it together. 1, 2. Nyege nyege is one of the well-screened events. But because we have so many Bazungus who come for nyege nyege, and you know, at least me, I've been on Cheyo in UK. I've ever been there for 8 years. You know, whenever you associate with Bazungu, is Visiak. You know? Whenever you associate with Bazungu, or you want to kukula money. But because we have so many Bazungu, my sons who are here, this year when there is nyege nyege, allow me, Right Honorable Speaker, I extend invitations. I'll give you invitations, even if 50 of them, please. Enoch, put me on record. I'll give you 50, and then you come. Hussein, you were there. He can give you what happened. Were you there? Did you see people naked? Did you see people playing sex? There is music, there is alcohol. The only problem is alcohol. Me, I was one person who wanted to advocate. Even one time I spoke to the president, I was like, maybe a policy is put that for you to take alcohol, you should be 25 and above. Because really, you can make a decision at that time. But there is no obscenity, there is no open sex, there is no annual sex in nyege nyege. Please take it from me. We've been partners in it. It brings employment, creates so many, these hotels are always full. Our youths get involved in it. And you know, once in a while, you're supposed to vibe, you know? You vibe, but you vibe responsibly, right? Thank you very much.
Let me have Honorable Jane. Oh, gift, Honorable Gift, sorry.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable members of this House, I just wanted to present a few resolutions and back them up with a few evidential facts. I wanted to urge us to adopt, to urge the government to adopt gender-sensitive communication when talking about HIV-related services, because in most cases, we make the whole decision about sex and sexual reproductive health rights to be a woman-centered decision, and yet it is for both parties. And I wanted to let you know that the statistics that were presented by Honorable Daniel were very accurate, but what he missed also to point out is that even though we have more women that are HIV positive, there are more men, more male youths dying of the same. I had the opportunity to carry out a research and wrote a research paper on HIV AIDS prevalence in Busoga, particularly in the districts of Luuka, Buyende, Kamuli, Bujiri, and Kaliro. And in my research, I found out that even though 80% of the women that are affected that are living with HIV are more, how should I say, are more receptive of treatment. Very few men are going to testing, are taking up treatment, or following through rehabilitative counseling at the HIV centers. And this is why I wanted us to make sure that when we are preaching the story of HIV-related services, we make it to both parties. The best option would be to make it that for every testing that a partner comes with the other. It's also an issue. It would be harder for those that are unmarried and whatever and are having maybe very many partners, but it would ease on us knowing the connection and cycle of the disease. Thank you so much.
Honorable Jawad.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Isabire Jawad representing Mayuge District. There is only one thing in Busoga which is causing the widespread of HIV/AIDS. That is poverty. A case in point, some ladies have started selling their private parts. And the men, they go there and buy. And most of the ladies, they don't fear HIV/AIDS. They just fear to be doing to be pregnated. I have made that little small research, but with time I will come up with so that thing has brought a lot of problems. For example, men have left their families due to poverty. And for example, the ladies having some children there, school fees, they don't have what to eat. So the woman, she just resort to do what? To sell the private whatever and gets what to eat at home. There is a situation which happened in Busoga. There is what we call a yamba mwina kese. Famine. That
Please
thing happened sometime back.
for us. My clerk, Yamba Mwina Kese.
And now, what Honorable Jawad is trying to say by saying Yamba Mwina Kese, he's trying to mean that there was a trend in Busoga that was labeled as help your neighbor or colleague to survive.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So people, those ones who have money, they are infected. You know, when you have money and when you don't use it in a rightful way, you can easily get HIV. Because every skirt you saw, you want to check it. Beautiful girls you saw, you want to check them. So that issue has brought a lot of problems in what? There is what we call some denominations, for example, Muslims. Girls are not supposed to menstruate, to go under that menstruation period when they are at their fathers, whatever, homes.
Excuse me, Honorable. Please present facts. He's the one meant to grant point of view.
Granted.
Thank you very much. Once again, I'm Nambi Claire, representing the youths of Jinja City. I'd like to inform my honorable colleague that Muslim ladies or girls or young girls, it's not that they're not allowed to menstruate within their homes, only that they're not allowed to carry out certain activities during their menstrual periods because they're taken to be unclean. For example, in attending the prayers while they're on their periods, but not that they are not meant to menstruate in their parents' homes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your submission. Then another thing. Another thing I want to talk about is the dressing code. I can see girls here. For us, you have masanyalaze. You can see someone putting on a...
Honorable. My clerk to council, please help people translate masanyalaze.
Now, honorable members and those viewing us, what Honorable Jawad is trying to mean masanyalaze is trying to mean that excessive power of the men to erect at any time.
Yes.
Yes.
When you see someone has put on a tighty whatever, they call it tighty what? You see the map.
Order.
You just see the map of the what? Of the vagina.
Honorables, let us remain respectful as we submit our views.
The dressing code has brought a lot of problems. I'm telling you.
Honorable, as you present your issues, please present solutions to the challenges.
Okay. So I'm begging this house, this August house, such that let us partnership with the Busoga Kingdom, such that we can sensitize our members from the grassroots to learn how to dress.
Honorable, your time is up. Thank you so much. Let me have the last person, Jinja.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Again, my name is Jinja Michael Senkole, and I'm very happy to be here. A lot has been said about the topic, and we know how serious the issue of HIV and AIDS is in our country, but also more specifically here in Busoga sub-region. I think I'll re-echo a point that one of my colleagues put out. One of the root causes of this plague is poverty. We are seeing the issues of period poverty coming up, Right Honorable Speaker, that young girls are ending up in transactional sex to get a sanitary towel. So it's one of those things, poverty, that is leading to these things. Then the myth that are around. I've had some myth around that when you have sex and you wash yourself with Coca-Cola, HIV is gone. It is there. It is there. These barbaric myths are still ongoing, and you may want to disagree, or you may want to say no, or you may be surprised, but these are the things that people hold on to, and they are sure that I'm safe now. After using my Coca-Cola, I am safe, nothing can harm me. Then the other thing is stigma. There's a research that was recently done, and one of the biggest things that I think about 22% of the people who were involved in that research said why they got HIV was because they were scared to buy condoms. So there is that kind of mentality and stigma around that. So also the community, there is a way it takes the people that have HIV.
yeah, and they try to push them away and shun them away. But the key things that I would like to highlight, for starters, is let us also try to focus or call on to the government to focus on the key populations. We will not eradicate the sex workers. They are here. But then we need to extend the packages, the prevention packages, to these people. Because if we could have more investment in these areas, because it's one of the populations that is increasing there, statistics we are saying, invest more in investing into the prevention packages to these people. Then the adolescents, girls, youth, and women. We are seeing this is the biggest age demographic, the adolescents to be specific. We are seeing the prevalence rate of HIV being in the adolescent age, the number of things, the number of children coming into this sector. Then I also want to appreciate the government. There are quite a number of initiatives that have been into play. The condom programming, the provision of testing kits, the prevention of mother-to-child transmission. But we need to scale up these programs. We need to kind of really push them to the last mile communities. The ABC strategy has been known to us since we were very young, but it has not been fully instilled and implemented to ensure that it fits into it gets into the minds of the people back there. So let us try to also, as you leaders and members of this honorable sitting, could you take it upon you to go and ensure that this communication, that ABC is the way to go, you instill it into the people that subscribe to.
Please summarize.
As I summarize, Right Honorable Speaker, the other thing is the presence of pre-exposure prophylaxis. I don't think this is well known to the communities, that after having sex, you can get, before you can get, and then also you have post-exposure, which you can leverage on to prevent yourself from getting this.
Thank you so much.
I see he was raising a point of information. I grant it.
Right Honorable Speaker, the House, I rise to inform this House about a lot of data that has been missed while presenting this motion. In fact, this motion reads, motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to enhance their response to address the rising cases of HIV in Busoga region. This motion seeks to enhance the response of government to address the rising cases of HIV in Busoga sub-region. Now let me present some statistics. This is the statistics. In
I hope you don't use a lot of time.
Unfortunately, but I will try.
Unfortunately, you will have to.
Okay. I have actually shared some pieces of information in our WhatsApp group. This is the HIV prevalence in various regions in Uganda. In Eastern, and particularly in Eastern Central, that is Busoga, our prevalence is 4.5%. In Midwestern, it is 5.5%. In Kampala, it is 6.0%. In Central, it is 6.2%. In fact, now there is a long list before we reach to the last one, which is in Mid-North region, it is 7.6, but also in Central 1, that is Greater Masaka, it is 8.1. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever we are mentioning about HIV/AIDS, Busoga will come, I think, in the 7th place. You understand? But we are using this precious moment right here. And the information we want to give government is that it should enhance its response on HIV. According to me, what should it really enhance on? Which response should come more than any other thing? If at all we changed these statistics, we left HIV and went to poverty, yeah? You would find that whereas we were some of the last ones in HIV in poverty, we are taking the first position, right? I want us to just look at this difference. HIV prevalence is 4.5% in Busoga. Poverty prevalence in Busoga is 29%. 9.2%. I want us to compare ourselves with maybe, okay, another country. In South Africa, the poverty prevalence there, I don't think it is more than 20, right?
Honorable, don't think, please give us facts.
Okay, I'll request, maybe, I want to implore you to look up for yourselves what is the poverty rates in South Africa. But I'll provide for you
Honorable,
the
please,
HIV.
Please take your seat and come back with facts.
I want to provide for you South Africa, the HIV prevalence in South Africa. It is 19.0. And that is now for the youth specifically. It is 19.0. Ours is what? It is 4.5. But then we have taken up this precious...
Honorable, you have taken a lot of time. We value your submission. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We shall have one last speaker before we get the justification.
Okay, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I have a point of information. A lot has been said, and I would like to inform you, Right Honorable Speaker, and all the honorables who are here, that I've been receiving a lot of messages in my inbox from young girls requesting for some help of pads. I'm not rich, but I give them not because I'm rich, but I know how it is paining them. And one thing that I found out is that some parents are so reluctant. For me, I believe if you're a parent, even if your child is 18 years, you can still support your girl because she's your daughter. You get it? So let us not also take this thing of poverty on another level, but also the parents have not played enough part to support their daughters. Another thing I want to inform the cabinet, the honorables here, that there are a lot of non-government organizations that are trying to provide sanitary pads to a lot of young girls here. But I would like to advise the government to value this non-government organization, to at least solicit some funds and support this non-government organization so that they can continue doing their great job they're doing at the ground level. Thank you.
Point of information should be through...
Yeah, you're granted, madam.
Honorables, as let us try to relate to the motion. How is the government meant to try to curb these rising cases of HIV? Let us not divert from what the motion is.
Okay, I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I'm sorry, Madam Speaker, Honorable Speaker. But I'm just informing about that point. Like, he was talking about to provide pads to girls. Many of honorables have been talking about it. But I'm also requesting that even though you provide a material to someone, but you don't know how to use it, you don't know how to monitor it. Most of the girls, they are there. Although you provide them with pads, but they don't know how to monitor their menstrual periods. Also, it's the main cause why they're getting pregnant at that tender age.
Thank you so much for your submission. I'm having one last honorable before you have a justification.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and honorable members in the House. I'm Michael Emo. I'm from Jinja City. I appreciate the motion, and I would like to justify the motion that the government should support response to HIV care and management. So HIV is a global issue everywhere, even here in Uganda. It's very pertinent that HIV is well managed. And I would like to draw your attention to the Ugandan population, where we have a lot of young persons
And we'd like to acknowledge that a lot of young persons, even young persons with ability, are within this very population. So there is a very big gap that has not been addressed. It is knowledge and information on HIV. There's a lot of knowledge that's lacking on on HIV and AIDS. A lot of young persons have no access to such information or knowledge, so it brings a gap. Remember, HIV is more of a behavior and lifestyle issue. If you cannot manage yourself, you are likely to be a victim of acquiring HIV or AIDS.
Honorable shall pay attention and not be on phone, otherwise you will be escorted out.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. So my submission is, my point I would like to get your attention on is in relation to persons with disability. There's a lot of myth about persons with disability and relation to HIV. A lot of persons, able-bodied persons, think that if you have a sexual act with a person, let's say the most common they've been saying are persons with albinism. If you go down, lie down with that girl or that lady, you will cure of your HIV. So such kind of practices are coming from behavior and lifestyle, and also the information gap. So this one is really upscaling HIV among young people and also
Honorable,
women.
how do you wish the government to enhance their response to address these issues?
Thank you, Right Honorable. I think the government, we should not leave this whole entire obligation to the government. It's everyone's individual obligation or role. So I urge everyone to really have access to enough accurate information. Knowledge and information is very important. When you have right information and you have the knowledge, you can really manage HIV and AIDS
Thank you so
among
much,
the key
Honorable.
population.
I would like to proceed here.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise on an issue of procedure, and this is backed by my emotions of not having been given chance to speak, and I have a corridor where I could speak from. Now, in the rules of procedure, this is Article 53, number 1. Statements by the leader of opposition. The leader of the opposition may make a statement at the appropriate time, nation, budget framework, paper, budget proposals, alternative policy, or action upon any matter. We can move forward to Article 143, which is on bills returned by the president, but still it addresses something about the alternative policy, which I am assuming has not been given here, and my request is to notify to you that there is an alternative policy that you should grant.
Honorable members are only giving their submissions. They
Yes.
have not given alternative.
No, I am trying to say that by the time the reader of the motion, the mover of the motion comes back, you should give chance to the opposition side to also present.
No one has declared to be on the opposition side. Let us have the justification and we vote on the motion.
I have declared.
Let us have the motion mover coming back and taking the floor.
Thank you again, Madam Speaker, and thank you for your points that have been given. As the motion mover, I'm saying that this motion is not a blame to government. It is just a wake-up call. By virtue of social contrast between people, there is a big burden for government to protect its people. The submissions that have been given, ranging from a stigma fight, as a parent, I have witnessed this when I wanted to put my child, in a daycare, and I was told that that lady is having HIV, stroke, or AIDS. I was, totally broken down, because even the whole community was not just looking onto this lady as someone who can provide a service, but as someone who is going to spread to others. Yet it is not a reality. So in most cases, we have always failed to talk about it. You don't want to, in most cases, the parents in here, you don't want to tell your children the right thing to do. In most cases, as this child is growing up, it is better for you, because we believe that they all know what, in most cases, you do as mature or parents. In most cases, they know what you do. But in most cases, you share one, you'll be like, the child is around maybe 20 years. You're chasing the friends, the male friends, and so on. Then this child will go and, in most cases, be exposed to other groups. The only time that this child may get out of the room will go and spend it with those other people that you don't know, which is really bad. So we should at least try other ways of controlling our children to be within our
Let us have members voting by standing up. Everyone in support of it should stand up. Point of order. Granted.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I wanted to raise on a point of order that is it in order for us to stand and adopt this motion without hearing the full justification? I feel we'll be adopting a motion that is half-baked. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Can we have the motion move back to the floor and finishing his justification?
Okay, within a few minutes I'll be done. Thank you. Like, in most cases, where we come from, we have different institutions that have been put in place, but they have not been totally used. The government, we are calling upon the government to restructure these some institutions. In most cases, this information that is shared to these people, we believe that within our communities, not everyone is educated, but in most cases, it is only shared in English, which is a challenge to our people out there, and they are not really getting the right information. So adopt a bylaw. For example, me as the General Secretary of Soga Kingdom Youth Council, in our structures, we have come up with different ways of how we can address this. Now we are calling upon the government to come and support us. The funding that is there should be allocated directly to the youth who can ably talk to fellow youth, and these people are the mostly affected group of people, like between 15 to 30 years of age. So the misinformation management, we should always be keen. As me, I was starting up my community-based organization. I knew that I didn't have anything as money, but I knew that what I'm going to share is needed within my community, and those ones who will see that I'm doing something good will come and support me. And trust me, the first day that we went to the field, we were given a lot of money because we were doing something good. So if at all, don't just sit back as a youth, you can do something. So the songs that we produce should also be somehow, the government should come up and regulate. Like we have different songs like Headmaster by Maurice Kiria, but we have not taken time to listen to them. File Bongo Le Lutaya and so on, they have produced good songs, but we have totally ignored them. So I call upon you as people, before you wait for government to come, we should do collectively fight it together, and we put it down within Busoga sub-region and other regions within the country. I beg to submit. I remain Mugabe David from Mayuge district.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Shall we vote on this by standing? Everyone in favor? Are all the members not in favor of this? I think the majority agree. Thank you.
Honorable members of parliament, we are moving on to our next item, and that is
Madam Speaker, for record purposes, is it in order for you, the Honorable Speaker, to only request the people in line with the motion to stand, and you don't seek for our opinion, we who are not in agreement with the motion? Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are voting on majority versus minority. So as you stand up, the majority has decided. Let us please move on to the next motion.
the next item on the agenda is item 7.4. That's a motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging government to revise the tax rates on small-scale businesses owned by youths. Now, this motion will be moved by Honorable Nambi Claire from Jinja City.
I hope you use 3 minutes.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Once again, Nambi Claire, representing the youths of Jinja City, and I'm here to move the motion 7.4, motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging government to revise the tax rates on small-scale businesses owned by the youths. And on this matter, I'd request this house to second the motion so that we can discuss on it. Thank you.
Do you have any second?
Thank you. Once again, good afternoon. My name is Mrs. Farida. I'm here to second a motion urging the government to revise the tax rates on scale business owned by youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Mwanda Ronald from Bogiri. As a true student of accounting and finance, an expert of tax, I hereby second the motion urging the government to revise the tax rates on small-scale businesses owned by the youth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Claire. The motion has been seconded.
All right, thank you so much. I'll not take a lot of time because I see everyone is hungry according to the facial expression. Yeah, but we have to go through this motion so that our voices can be heard. As youths of Jinja, or the youths within Busoga region at large, due to the increasing number of unemployment within our country, you find that the youths are resorting to other avenues where they can be able to earn a living. However, the president urged the youths to be job creators. Yes, the youths have been so faithful to create jobs, but again, the taxes imposed on small-scale businesses, the enterprises of the youths end up collapsing. So, and looking at what Minister Namtamba has said, that you can find that someone who is holding a bachelor's degree is competing with someone who is already having experience, who has been in a system for almost 10 years, someone who is having a master's degree. You find that these people cannot be able to compete, which is leading to the high unemployment within Busoga region. So therefore, I'll urge the government to work on the following, because this is what the youths need, though the House shall be able to also discuss on their views. Number one, the tax holidays. At least the youths who are trying to start up the small businesses, or the ones who are holding businesses, the small businesses, should be given at least a period of 1 or 2 years when they are not paying taxes, so as to establish themselves, then resort to taxes as they are already established business owners. Because we find that the youths are starting up with their small businesses, and then they are competing in the market where these other well-established businessmen are. So, and you find that they are all paying the same taxes. So, I urge the government that they should have tax holidays on the youths for a period at least 1 or 2 years, so that the youths can be able to establish themselves. In addition, the second, number 2, fair tax policy. At least the youths, if at all those businessmen who are having the well-established businesses are paying, let me say they are paying 10% taxes, let the youths pay at least 5%, so as we allow these youths also catch up within the market. And then, when it comes to PDM program, let the youths receive what they are expected to get, than getting less, yet they have to pay the taxes. Some other youths will keep silent, but the truth is, the youths receiving this money, they don't receive a full amount. They receive less, and you find that they have to pay again taxes. Yet this is the small money they are receiving, and they are receiving it in phases. They're not receiving the whole bunch of money to start up their businesses. Therefore, I urge the government that let the youths receive what they are expected to receive within the PDM program. And then, the government should at least lower the social contributions. How? That these social contributions should cover the taxes which can be waived off from the youths, where it means that the government will not get any, I'll call it any deficit in taxes, because if at all the social contributions are lowered, that amount which should have been on the social contribution, it should cover up the taxes that the youths would have paid. I therefore leave the floor by saying, as youths, we have to raise up so that our voice can be heard, so that if at all we raise up together, the youths of Busoga, we can be able to get victory. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Claire. The floor is open for your submissions. Prince Job, please.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Once again, Job Mugoya Prince from Bujiri. Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of the taxes, I think I can say I'm one of the victims that the government has not favored any youth. I did education. It's just a profession, but I had to divert because I wanted to look for some good money. But now, as a youth, if you find yourself with just a lockup and they tell you you have to pay property tax of 170,000, as that's now municipality, or that's for the city. Now, after paying your 170, they come back and ask you for something called VAT on everything you are selling. It has 18% that is supposed to be paid to the government. That if I am selling a phone at 100,000, the government has to get their 18%, which is something like 100. That's 18,000. Can you imagine? You have paid the property tax. You are paying now license, And now, after that, there is something called returns, which is not even favoring the youths. Why? After a year, and they check now like the way they are going to use their EFRIS, they do accountability on everything you sold in a year, and they ask for the returns. I speak this because I'm in business, I do real estate, and we even pay 1.2 taxes on every property that you buy. You have to pay 1.2 as URA, and after they charge you when you are transferring a title. Can you imagine? Now, as a youth like me from Musoga sub-region, I'm trying to change my life. To at least when I establish something, I can bring some people on board. Now, how will I bring those ones on board when I'm paying taxes that are against even the capital that I have? Because I'm using like 50% on my business, just on taxes. I therefore urge the government, Right Honorable Speaker, that if youths are now trying to establish their businesses, not bothering them because most of them, they are unemployed. Some people are working because that's what is there. And now we are trying to establish something. I therefore urge the government to give us a tax holiday as youth who are now establishing new jobs. We are creating jobs for the youths who are there so that the government cannot be bothered with these other uprising youths. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you so much. Right Honorable, honorable members of the August House, I wish to submit on the motion in the House by urging the government to revise its tax rates on the businesses owned by the youth. If possible, let them just waive them off. If they can give a tax holiday to big companies like Bidco for over 5 years, why not give a tax holiday to a business owned by the youth? We as the youth, if we are to grow, one of the strategies of helping small business to stand also is by waiving off the taxes or reducing the taxes. For instance, pay what you call the income tax sometimes. How can you charge 15% on a business owned by the youth and the same figure is charged on a business owned by the elderly? I beg the government therefore on that note that they should revise. If they are paying 15%, I beg this house to actually urge the government to reduce to 10% at least for the business which are owned the youth, if the youth are to develop in their businesses. Then the other issue is that the business should revise the time that the youth have offered the services to it. Because we are looking at a business, forget that time wasted doing some other activity is also actually a loss of money according to the youth. We have offered the services to the government, but the government has not remembered actually the services that the youth have offered to reward them. Let me be open. When a honorable member of parliament, or rather the chairperson of C5 leaves, offers a service as the chairperson of 5, after 5 years, is rewarded and given some 50 million after office. But when a youth offers a service as a chairperson, youth at the district, he will just say, bye-bye, we see you in the next term, forgetting that surely that youth also has offered a service and time that would have spent on doing his small business has not been rewarded. I beg to submit, Madam Speaker.
Let us.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You know, the youth interactions are so interesting and attractive. I wanted to give some guidance that for you to benefit from the exemptions, from tax exemption from government, I would guide you, if you form maybe bigger associations, and then you form up maybe a manufacturing company or whatever, or services, or ICT service providing company, when in a bigger group of the youths, I can trust you, you can get an exemption, tax exemption from government. But just imagine you're the biggest population that really are so into spending, and when money comes back into the coffers of government, that is when we get good roads and hospitals and the rest. So if you say the youth should be exempted when they're doing their business, that means we are at the level of collapsing the economy. So I want us to be we be considerate that as you're arguing for the exemption, Right Honorable Speaker, let's also push and maybe put it to government that whenever the youths form up a bigger group and then put up maybe a small scale company, whatever, or manufacturing, they can get an exemption, maybe or 1 year or 2 or half of the taxes. Thank you.
Honorable Daniel.
I thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, about 41% of young people who are out of school are unemployed. This means that they're the biggest percentage of the population that engage in informal sector, which includes the businesses that we are talking about. Now, if government is looking at gaining some form of taxes from such, I would really think that is a little unfair from a population that is starting from scratch. However much, we also agree to the extent that government needs these taxes to provide social services. I also think government needs to consider the fact that this population are just coming up. And so in recommendation probably, government would choose to broaden the tax base rather than deepen it. What does that mean? It means that there are sectors of the economy which are informal that needs to be taxes instead of them deepening the taxes on the already existing ones. Now, as a form of probably trying to bring the youth into the business sector, I would think that government can have an affirmative action, for example, on young people who are doing businesses, right? So they would come up with a law that if you are a young person probably just starting a business, you will have a certain period that you are not going to pay taxes. Then afterward, if you achieve that limit of the taxation, then they can begin taxing you. I do not think this will eventually affect government tax base, right? But I think this is going to elevate the youth that comes into these businesses. Two, I think government can move ahead to offer incentives. These are done into, lastly, these are done with big businesses that come. But at the capacity of a young person, probably 28 years or 26 years, who does not have anything much to offer, I don't think government would be considerate enough. Now, the government owes a social responsibility to protect and develop these young people, so they can pass these incentives and affirmative actions and elevate these unemployed youth so that they also achieve their dreams.
Thank you so much. We're going to have one last speaker before we vote on the motion. Please.
Thanks very much. I just want to have 2 points. I'll try to be quick as enough about taxes. So I'm begging the government of Uganda to try to reduce on the taxes on this business owned by youth. Try to reduce. A real reason why, to try to mobilize, to encourage innovating. Yes, innovation is a sign of innovation. Please, Uganda taxes is a sign of innovation to make the youth-led businesses to involve. So it's, yes, it can help them to innovate more in this business. The last point is, same I request URA responsible for the tax to change these rules. Yes, known to get hard laws from youth. Let some laws change. Yes, so we have challenges, but better to change these laws of how to tax. Yes, make it flexible for our business, so that we can be happy and settle, so we can start different business. Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much. Let me call back the Honorable moving the motion. But I beg that you summarize like in 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. I thank you, honorable members, for backing up this motion so that it can be discussed. And I'll go straight to the resolutions because we are here not to discuss just to discuss the motion or to discuss how the taxes are at a hike, but also to urge the government to be able to work on it. So according to the resolutions, I'll first give out mine, then I'll go back to what the honorable members have given out. Number one, the government should widen its tax base by tapping into areas that are outside the tax net. I'll not go much into explanations because of time. I've been given only 2 minutes. And then, improving efficiency, transparency, and accountability. And then the government should at least let the youth own the PDM program for it to be a success. There are many government programs that have failed out, but just because these programs, they come to elevate the youth out of poverty. But again, you find that since due to the taxes that are imposed on the small businesses, which the youths would like to start up, or which the youths have already started up, you find that these youth programs are failing. You look at youth livelihood, where if at all it was achieved as a success, it was a small percentage. So therefore, each level in the village, each level within this country, from the village level up to the national level, we have youths. Let the youths get involved within these youth programs or the PDM. If at all the money has come for the youths, let the youths be able to manage it so that this money can reach them as the way it is supposed to be received. Because you find that most of the circles or most of the leaders within the parish development model within the parishes, you find that the biggest percentage of people who are holding this, who are running this program are adults, not the youths. Yet the youths are at each and every level. They have representatives, 9 per level. Then the resolutions from the honorable members. Number 1, the taxes should be reduced. That was from Honorable Mugoya. Then there is need for a tax waiver. Then the reward services of the youths, forming bigger associations. That was a suggestion from Honorable Namutamba. But sorry. Summarize. Okay. Yes, but on that issue of Honorable Namtamba, which she gave out that forming the youth should at least, if at all they need an exemption of taxes, they should at least form bigger associations or service companies that so that they can be able to get the tax exemptions. But I would like to put this forward. If at all the government is looking at the youths to pull that much of the taxes from the youth, which is a big number, if at all they don't want to do an exemption, let them at least create bigger jobs for the youth so that the other youths can be able to occupy them. And then the government should broaden the tax base that has been talked about. The government should come up with a legislation policy, offer incentives, reduce taxes to boost the youths, and then revise on the laws. Thank you very much, honorable members.
Thank you so much. The people seem tired, my honorable colleagues. Please let us vote, not by rising up, by just raising our hands. Or else you can just say aye and others nay. So people that are in support of the motion. Aye. Then the others. Okay, the House has voted. Over to my clerk.
Honorable members of Parliament, the motions have been fully discussed. Now we are going to item number 8 on the order paper. and that is the review of the resolutions from the Parliament session.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and members of this August House for having discussed these issues. According to the motions moved, the motion 7.1 of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to tackle the root causes of rising teenage pregnancies and high school dropouts within the region was seconded by Honorable Tusira Simon and Honorable Abni Dao. And the House resolved as one of the resolutions that they provide sexual reproductive rights depending on gender, considering that we saw a gap among the females, and yet this is a two-man army and not a one-man army. So the House resolved that sexual reproductive rights should be done or encouraged according to gender. The second motion, which was the motion of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging government to review the National Youth Strategy on Employment in Agriculture, was tabled by Honorable Hilary Kalyango. And the House resolved that yes, as per the national strategy, most of the submissions given by the honorable members were considered in the strategy that expired or is about to expire. And the House resolved that the government should have more granaries owned by the government and not private organizations. According to motion 7.3 of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging the government to enhance their response to address the rising cases of HIV/AIDS in Busoga sub-region, the House resolved that immorality and obscenity be reduced and youth be sensitized on better ways and more ways in which media can be used to lessen the obscenity and better influence the youth within the sub-region. Motion 7.4 of the Busoga Youth Parliament urging government to revise the tax rates on small-scale businesses owned by youth, presented by Honorable Nambi Claire. We resolved as the August House that we formalize some informal sectors so that we can broaden the tax base, but also more tax holidays be given to youth groups in order to enable them afford the requirement of the small scale businesses. Thank you, honorable members, and back to you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, now that you have heard the reviews of the resolutions from the House, next on agenda is communication from the representative of Action Aid.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and the two clerks. Thank you very much, our representative from the Busoga Kingdom, and absolutely you, the honorable members. I will not take so long because I know I'm standing in between you and the lunch. The coupons have already been distributed. I also received one, so I intend to be brief, but I will say a few remarks. One is to congratulate the Speaker and the clerks for being elected. An electoral process is a robust one. It's always challenging, and when you go through, we must congratulate you. but also those that participated and didn't get, still please channel your ideas through the elected person because we are working for a common good. My name is David Nyaribi. I work with ActionAid as a leadership and governance specialist. I support with trainings, especially for the young leaders. But I also work on the Gold Project, which supports activists and social movements. That's why earlier at the break, I asked that those who are running social movements or who are activists should come and speak with me to register. I also support the Activista Network, which is a group or movement of young people that are voluntarily taking on issues within their communities. And I'm happy that key issues have come out of this deliberation today. I want to appreciate the partners. ActionAid is not the only partner. Like you heard earlier, this engagement has been made possible by the European Union, GIZ, UAF, which supported closely in Mbale, Vijana Co, of course Jinja City Council, and also now by default the Kingdom is here. We have a blessing from the Kingdom. Faraja Africa Foundation, which is our key convener, but also most importantly you, the honorables, for coming, because without you this house would have not been constituted. The speaker would have no role, and even the organizers would have no role. And we've been in Pakwach for West Nile, moved to Gulu for the northern. Yesterday we were in Mbale for the, I would now call it Far East, and we are happy that we are now in the Middle East of Uganda, which is Busoga. And Busoga is very close to my heart. I was educated here 6 years at Busoga College, Mwiri. As if that was not enough, I studied the exact period the Shabazinga was there, starting together in Senior 1, all the way to Senior 4 before he went into the Central. As if that was not enough, I sat on the same desk with him. Yeah, so we are close, and I'm happy that the Kingdom representative is here. I will not forgive myself for missing the royal wedding because I was out of the country, but certainly the anniversaries, I will make sure that I am there. Just a small word about the Youth Parliament. Like you have already seen, it is an approach that we support from the regions, the grassroots. It's bottom up. So there will be a national youth parliament. Unfortunately, not all of us can attend, but some of you, or most of you, should be able to attend. And after the national, there is the Vijana Assembly to take issues to the region. And then digitally, we take them to the globe. So look out for those next steps and try to be part, whether physically or digitally. I am happy with the motions that were discussed. These are key issues that affect the region here, but as the region is being affected because we are in one country, then by association or by location, we also are affected. Other regions are also affected. But the issue of teenage pregnancy also came up in Mbale. Employment, of course, is like a common denominator, especially for the big numbers of the youth. I am happy that you have strongly deliberated on the aspect of HIV and AIDS. We have, as a country, made strides in the past, but it seems like the strides are now declining. But like our representative of the Kingdom, our minister here told us, we have a big role to play. And from your deliberations, we need to put those into action. And the aspect of taxes, especially for startups and already existing businesses, we must look into it. These issues will be presented in the chambers in Kampala, and then the petition taken, and then of course the speaker and deputy that will be elected will certainly push for these aspects with our support in the committees to make sure that government takes a big step. So I'm happy that you deliberated. As partners, we are proud when we be part of these proceedings and we see the young people speaking eloquently with passion, but also with facts. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you because you kept re-echoing that we need the facts. Yeah. One of the aspects that ActionAid fronts, and one of the reasons we partner, is to advance servant leadership. So in spaces like these ones, we cannot fail to talk about servant leadership. And servant leadership, the DNA of it is that we must know the way, walk the way, and then show the way. It's not the other way around. In Africa, we have so many leaders that want to show the way, sometimes without knowing it, and neither walking it. So we must know the way. So young people like yourselves, emerging leaders, we are not leaders of tomorrow, we are leaders of today and tomorrow, because by age, we are advantaged that will be here. So we must know the way. Identify those issues that we want to solve and how to identify, how to be able to solve them. World over, young people are taking lead in many aspects. So we must know the way. Walking the way is not saying like our teachers used to say in primary and secondary that do as I say, but not as I do. We encourage the do as I do, being exemplary. So walk the talk and then show the way. I will finish by talking about 3 Ds, and I'm happy our minister here spoke about it as well. As young people, we need to have the first D, which is discovery, self-discovery. I told the people in Gulu that when we gather as parliament like this, it gives an impression that we are only advocating for political leadership. But there are about 7 spheres of influence. So not all of us will be MPs, unfortunately. Not all of us can be president. But we can all make a contribution in the other spheres of influence. We need sheikhs, we need bishops, we need people in the media, we need people in business. I'm happy that we've discussed business in a robust way. But we also need politicians. We need leaders in the political sphere who are equipped with integrity and a good work ethic. So we must discover ourselves. But discovering yourself is not good enough. It's just like knowing that you're a prince, but you are not acting with royalty. After discovering yourself, you must take effort to develop yourself. Through attending sessions like these ones, I'm sure many of you will end up in parliament and other spheres of influence. Development can also come through reading, advocating for education, going to school to open up your mind, but also associating with those that are better than you. It's not a competition, it's a collaboration. But after discovering yourself and developing yourself, that alone is not good enough. You must deploy to put what you have developed into action and to benefit society. I always remind people, young people like ourselves, that all of us are servants, whether you want it or not. A teacher, you will not teach your own children alone, you will teach other people's children. A shopkeeper, you set up the shop not for your own self, but for the community. Even if you buy your own machines for entertainment, you will end up entertaining the community. So we are all servants and we need to do that. So deployment, as young people, we need to do that. So once again, I thank the partners. I thank you for coming, and we are sure that these issues will go beyond here, because now we are leveraging on the digital abilities that we have. Spread the word and continue the deliberations. The young people are the majority, but spaces like this cannot be able to accommodate every young person. So count yourself blessed and privileged that in the entire Busoga sub-region, it is you who is here today. You are a special person, so go and act in a special way and do special things. I wish you well for God and my country.
Thank you so much. In 1 minute, let me have Honorable Kamanzi summarizing.
Thank you, Right Honorable. I will not take a minute, and mine is just thanking you guys, mostly the mobilizers that will work together since we started this, and also thanking you for being patient and deliberating. I want, on a special occasion, to thank our chief guest. Thank you so much for sparing time for us. Yeah, I talked to her in the morning. She had a meeting in Kampala, which she had to leave to come and attend to us. We can't take it for granted. But also on a special note, the third Busoga Youth Parliament is going, already been promised some scholarships from the minister. We're going to produce for you people. Thank you so much. And also, my fellows are going to get invitations for Nyege Nyege, so. Yeah, I thank you so much. Genius is so proud and proud of you guys. Thank you for always being collaborative. We have never found issues in Busoga since we started Busoga Youth Parliament. Now we are going for the lunch session. Whosoever got a coupon, that's the one that allows you. But we shall first go with Honorable and the Speaker and the team. Then others shall follow. Thank you so much for God and my country. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kamanzi, to the honorables attending here. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation and being here with us. Thank you for voting me into this office. It has really been an experience. People that have supported me all through, Derek, Felix, thank you so much. All those people that have nurtured me through this journey, thank you so much. The chief guest, thank you for honoring the invitation and giving you a piece of your time. I remain Zahara Mariam Mondera.
Excuse me, after here we are requesting the chief guest to have a group photo. So after here, let us first go out with the speaker and the chief guest, take a group photo, and then we can proceed.
Parliament adjourned.
Will you take us some photographs? Eh? Take some more. Member of Parliament. Rashid, come, we take some photographs. Briefly. Okay. Can you try portraits? Yes. Yes. Okay. Then Rashid comes.
His camera is so zoomed. When I come closer, you don't fit in that picture.
Maybe you just stand the elevation. Okay, let's have Rashid briefly.
When I still come closer, your head is.
Oh yeah, let's have Rashid here. Okay. Good. Let's have a quick one.
Push a bit far.
Okay. Oh yeah.
He's not facing this way.
Face there. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Let's run for the bigger photo. Yeah.
What's your name, madam?
Faraja Africa Foundation and her partners organized the East African Youth Parliament in 2018 following the establishment of the East African Community, which comprises of 7 member states, that is Burundi, Rwanda, Kenya, South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, and the recently added Democratic Republic of Congo.
Well, my name is Abdullahi Lugome. I'm first speaker of East African Youth Legislative Assembly. When you talk about the East African Youth Parliament, and since I was the first speaker, I traveled all the 6 countries by bus. I met, a lot of young people. I got a big connection with them. So that's really inspired me that what am I going to do after finishing being a speaker? So being a partner was the first thing I was looking to partner with Faraja and continuing supporting young people. And actually, we did it. We started advocating for the post-parliament agendas.
The East African Youth Parliament, also known as the Vijana Assembly, is a platform that provides young people with a dedicated space to participate in regional governance, advocate for youth issues, and contribute to the development and integration of the East African community.
What sparks your participation in the East African Youth Parliament?
Okay, I'm passionate about East Africa. I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I love having that nationalism, especially East African, like how they say Africa is our business. To me, East Africa is my business.
An important thing to note about this year is that for the first time we have DRC on board, and Chris is not only the representative from DRC, but also the clerk for the 5th East African Youth Parliament.
I've learned so much from them, and one thing is for sure, the future of East Africa, as one of the honorable said, is in safe hands. Learning about integration and how we as youth could benefit, on some of the things going on in the YALA as an institution, but also how do we get more, Congolese youth mostly to join this movement and help advance the region of East Africa community as a whole.
The sexual reproductive health bill is pertinent to major issues concerning sexual education, issues concerning reproductive health, issues concerning the rights of people generally, inherently rights such as abortion, rights on segregative mothers, and all those, without forgetting menstrual health and hygiene.
When we look at East Africa in general, we are really blessed with abundant resources, especially agricultural resources. But the agricultural resources are not utilized economically and sustainably in East Africa. And that's why I raised that motion to urge the young people to really engage in the agricultural business. So we need to understand, especially the young people, they need to know that agriculture is the backbone of Africa in general.
We started advocating for African Charter on Democracy, Election and Governance, but also we were also advocating for South Sudanese to enter to Tanzania without paying visa. In that time, it was just like recently they were entering to the community, and still the young people from South Sudan, when they came to Tanzania, were entering by paying visa. So also we advocated for it, and that was the best practices.
In a nutshell, the EAYP aims to have young men's and women's voices in the critical decision-making processes from national to regional legislative processes, inspiring a coordinated regional governance framework while being the key enablers of change.